Welcome to Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. This afternoon, coming to you from Paulson Stadium on the campus of Georgia Southern University. Perfect day for football. Georgia State going for its first bowl bid ever. Georgia Southern still an outside shot at the Sun Belt Championship. Welcome in Jonathan Yardley alongside 15-year NFL veteran Vonnie Holliday. We're talking rivalries. We're talking a new rivalry. This is only the second meeting between Georgia Southern and Georgia State. But Vonnie, Georgia Southern got the big win last year, and Georgia State not too happy about it.
No doubt about it, Jonathan. In fact, 2 hours before the game, we looked out there, and the chippiness had already started. Georgia State is not happy about Georgia Southern coming in last year into their house, and at the end of the game, after putting up 69 points, displaying a banner at midfield with Paulson Stadium North on it.
Those are fighting words, certainly. We're at the real Paulson Stadium today, and we expect the fighting to come on offense, where Georgia State, excellent in the passing game. Top 10 in the country in passing yards per game. That starts with the quarterback, Nick Arbuckle, who is, Vonnie, a potential NFL player.
Nick Arbuckle. This guy is very impressive. He makes all the throws, very accurate in the passing game. But what's most impressive about this guy is, talking with Coach Trent Miles last week, he does a great job of recognizing schemes, getting him in the right pass protections, and he comes to the line with 2 running plays and always gets them in the right call. So Nick Arbuckle is a guy today, how he goes, this Georgia State team will go.
Georgia Southern has a lot of different offensive weapons, but the home run hitter is Matt Breida.
Matt Breida, this guy's impressive. I mean, you talk about a guy that has all the tools. He's a 5'11", a 190, but runs really, really hard, has great vision, and always finishes his run with forward lean, gaining positive yards.
Last year, Georgia Southern ran for more than 600 yards in blowing out Georgia State 69-31. So we've got some points in store for you when we come back to Paulson Stadium next. They call it the most exciting 30 seconds in college football, and Freedom, the live Eagle mascot here at Georgia Southern University, didn't disappoint. One of the many, many traditions that Georgia Southern has established since bringing back its college football program in the early 1980s. 6 FCS national championships, now their second year at the FBS level. Their opponents today also up from FCS to FBS. This is Trent Miles in charge of Georgia State, and again has them 1 win away from being bowl eligible, which this year would mean going to a bowl game for the first time in program history. Speaking of the first bowl in program history, Willie Fritz's Eagles are definitely going. They won the conference title last year with an unbeaten mark in the Sun Belt. They weren't bowl eligible because it was a transition year. This year they're going to a bowl game. And this year, this game is in Paulson Stadium for the first time, and the locals are plenty fired up. As Vonnie said in the open, these teams, about 2 hours before kickoff, did some jawing on the field as Georgia State was working out, as Georgia Southern was making its way to their locker room. Safe to say both teams have been waiting for this one for a year. Younghoe Koo to kick it away for Georgia Southern to start the game. Temperature right around 60 degrees. Barely a cloud in the sky as we're underway from the prettiest little stadium in America. And you can hear their response to a big hit on the kick return.
It was a big hit, but it looks like at the end of the play, he actually got tackled by his own guy trying to throw a block there.
Well, that'll get the home crowd fired up, too.
Number 20, Cliff Sagas, hit him on the return.
So Georgia State will have the ball first. We talked about this being their best weapon on either side of the ball. If the Panthers can keep it, put together some long drives, they're going to have to make the most of their possessions. As you see the data on Nick Arbuckle, his second year after transferring in from Pierce Junior College. This guy didn't even play quarterback in high school.
a tight end getting it done in the trenches, so he understands and can appreciate what those guys in front are going through. But just like you expected, Georgia State comes out, spreads them out, going to put some pressure on this secondary to cover their playmakers.
Georgia Southern got pressure on the first throw, and it's incomplete.
Incomplete. And right away, going to the guy who stepped up over the last couple games, Keith Rucker, playing really big in the pass game for us. Great with yards after the catch.
Rucker, nominally the tight end, is on the near side off the line as they go with 4 wideouts on 2nd and 10. They look for Rucker again, and he's hit. Couldn't come up with the throw. Coverage by Antoine Williams, the outstanding Georgia Southern linebacker.
Big Antoine Williams. Here's a guy, NFL prospect, big playmaker on this defense, but also a guy who gets it done out there. He can run sideline to side, very physical, very athletic. He and Ironhead Gallen menacing in the middle of that defense.
Gallen showing blitz at the top of the screen. Arbuckle has Donovan Harden over the middle, has the first down for Georgia State.
Great job by this Georgia State offensive line, giving him a chance to go through his progression. Probably was his 4th look. Great job by this offensive line. Went through his progressions on his 3rd option. He finds him sitting down in the middle of the defense for a nice first down there. And we talked about this before. They were going to give him different looks on defense. And that time they had Ironhead Gallen out to the left, and also Antoine Williams, who's normally in the middle of the field, was on the edge.
This time it's on the ground with Glenn Smith, and he's thrown back. Ryan George and Darius White on the tackle of Smith, converted wide receiver. They are going to give him a yard on the play, however.
This Georgia Southern defense is fired up.
Rucker, the tight end, splits wide to the top of the screen. 1 of 5 targets for Arbuckle here. And he has Keith Rucker. He has another first down. Matt Dobson on the tackle.
That's one of the things about this offense. They get you in that spread look, and then they get you matched up on these guys that are playmakers. I mean, great route runners, guys that are quick. And you look at it, he hits him on a slant. And when you don't get pressure in his face right away and bat that ball down, the slant is tough to defend for these guys in man-to-man coverage.
Flag finally flies. I think both teams were expecting it to come earlier than it did.
Big 99 Jay Ellison there, changing up the snap count on him, got him to jump off sides in the neutral zone there. Free 5 yards.
Offsides on the defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Charles Lewis, our referee, telling us it's 1st and 5 for Georgia State.
As a former defensive lineman now, when we're playing at home, I don't expect them to be able to change the snap count up there. They got to raise the atmosphere up in here, get this place loud so they can't come in and change the snap count. The pressure needs to be on the offense, not the defense.
Taz Bateman into the game alongside Arbuckle in the backfield. It is Bateman, and he's thrown back by Bernard Dawson for a short gain.
Bateman is a guy who's come along on the last several weeks, hurt early in the season, but the last couple of games has really gotten it going, and they're trying to establish a run game. They've been rotating 3-4 guys in, and no one's really stepped up to take the lead. But Bateman has been that guy as of late.
2nd and 4 for Georgia State on its opening drive. Blitz comes up the middle, and Arbuckle got it away, but incomplete. Intended for Penny Harton.
Another name that you'll hear a lot tonight or today, Ironhead Gallen.
And not just because we like saying it.
Great name, but this guy can play. Runs sideline to sideline. We talked about the middle of that defense with Ironhead and Antoine Williams. It's going to make it a long day for those guys running crossing routes across the middle of the field there.
Crowd trying to get into it on 3rd and 4. blitz coming. They dump it down to Bateman, and he has the first down. Jamal Johnson broke through, but Arbuckle able to find his hot route.
That time, Georgia Southern decided to come with the pressure right up the middle with the blitz. Arbuckle, of course, he recognizes the blitz. Good job. He knows he has one guy who's going to be unblocked, but he does a great job of getting the ball out into flats to Bateman. Go ahead and run for the first down. Catch him around.
So Georgia State into plus territory at the Georgia Southern 44. It is Bateman getting the call, and he dives forward for a gain of about 3.
You can see that there's been a lot of thought going into this game plan and the importance of taking advantage of their offensive possessions. I think Georgia Southern was expecting to not load the box because Georgia State doesn't typically run the ball, right? But now Bateman's going. They're trying to establish a run game, keep you off balance. And I think it's a great job so far by Coach Jags and Arbuckle in his offense.
Jeff Jagodzinski, the Georgia State offensive coordinator, came over with Trent Miles, now in their 3rd year here. Arbuckle taking a shot downfield. Penny Hart waits for the call, and they're saying it's incomplete.
Great effort by the young kid, the freshman, Penny Hart. Possibly one of the best freshman wide receivers in college football right now. Arbuckle sees the pressure up the middle, has to get rid of the ball early, tried to make a play on it, came up a little short.
At first glance, it looked like they got the call right. Trent Miles is thinking about asking for a replay look. The officials saying none needed. Rucker, the tight end, in motion, and now the play clock winding down. Trent Miles is going to take the timeout.
Smart by Trent here.
Timeout, Georgia State.
Trent want to give him a little more time to take a look at it upstairs.
We'll take the break with them. Georgia State facing 3rd and long.
Listen up, Georgia Southern students.
Pending replay review. 3rd and long for the Panthers when we come back. Back here in Statesboro, Georgia, where the Georgia Southern fans positioned right behind the Georgia State bench, trying to urge their defense on to a stop here. We saw several looks of Penny Hart's attempt at a catch on 2nd down. All of them show that the refs called it correctly on the field. An incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 7 for Georgia State. Arbuckle dumps it down, completes it, and Kyler Neal has the first down again.
Interesting. Georgia Southern decided to go with the 3-man rush in that situation. Arbuckle, once again, when he has time, will pick you apart. Finding the hole in the defense. Right here, he finds the hole in the defense. Running back escapes out in the flats, hits him with a dump down pass for the nice first down play right there. Just take what the defense gives you. That's what Arbuckle does, and he's good at it.
Georgia State already 3 for 3 on 3rd downs on this first drive. They lead the Sun Belt in 3rd down conversion percentage. Arbuckle throws down the middle. It's picked off by Matt Dobson. And Dobson wants to keep going with it. To midfield, what a play. The senior out of North Florida Christian, nominee for the Senior Class Award, getting it done on the field too.
Jonathan Fiddling, so we just talked about Jamal Johnson and how he's been making a lot of noise in the backfield in this opening drive. And sure enough, he's the guy that forces Arbuckle to throw the Eric throw, put it up in the air, and a nice interception by Matt Dobson.
You called it, Vonnie. That's the 3rd time Johnson has been in the backfield. And it gives Georgia Southern great field position after the return by Dobson. Kevin Ellison, the quarterback, he gives to Matt Breida right off the bat, and a flag flies as Breida falls forward.
On the carry. Tackle is made by number 6.
Not quite the start that Georgia State was hoping for when you're on the road. Defense and no turnovers.
Holding on the offense, number 33. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
James Dean, one of the tight ends, their primary responsibility here is blocking, called for the hold. As you look at Kevin Ellison, great dual threat. You see the numbers, one of 6 players in Georgia Southern history to pass and run for 2,000 yards in his career. He's more of a running threat than a pass threat. They'll be about 3/4 rushing plays. It's not triple option anymore. It's running option out of this shotgun look. Breida has it again. Can't quite get the corner. Knocked down there by Jerome Smith.
We talked about it in this in the opener, Jonathan. Great vision. I mean, this kid, nothing inside, bounces it outside, but a great job by Georgia State's defense in stringing it out and using the sideline as your friend. Limit the game.
Breida only a junior. Most of the skill players for Georgia Southern are underclassmen, which has the rest of the Sun Belt not thrilled about facing them next year. L.A. Ramsby and Wesley Fields are the backs beside Ellison. Ellison pitches to Ramsby, hurdles one man before he's driven out of bounds. It'll bring up 3rd and long. But L.A. Ramsby brought this crowd to its feet.
Ramsey, I mean, there is no let-off. When Ramsey comes in and Breida goes out, still dangerous. Option play right there. Very impressive. Athletic guy. Getting up off the ground.
So because of the penalty, it's still 3rd and 8 for Georgia Southern. They don't like to pass it all that much. Usually 10 times a game, maybe. Ellison wants the draw, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Alonzo McGee, one of the men to get him. And it's going to force Georgia Southern to punt.
Great job coming with the blitz up the middle. It was a design quarterback run, and we expect that from Georgia Southern, of course. They run first, pass second, but Joseph Peterson does a great job, one of the leaders on that Georgia State defense, putting the pressure on him, getting a sack, getting out the field on 3rd down.
Peterson was the first one to hit him. McGee, number 4, came in later as Ryan Nowicki gets set to punt it away. Fair catch called inside the 10. So a good kick of about 46 yards from Nowicki. Georgia State will start from inside its own 10 once again. Still scoreless here in Statesboro. Back here at Paulson Stadium, no score early on between Georgia State and Georgia Southern. This game means a ton to both teams, but Georgia State 1 win away from a bowl game in the 3rd year under Trent Miles, who was at Indiana State before this. 4-2 in their last 6 games to get them 1 win away from bowl eligibility.
And then talking to Coach Trent Miles this week, he talked about, and Coach Jagodinski also talked about how they wish the season was not coming to an end because they're playing their best ball right now. It was a big turning point after that Ball State game where they came back and they refocused the players and the coaches and taking it one day at a time, one play at a time, and it's been effective so far.
Jamal Johnson, number 51 right there in the middle, is certainly playing his best ball today.
And Jamal Johnson getting a start ahead of Darius Sapp today. That was a big change on the defensive front, making good on it right now.
Only his 2nd start of the year, and it has proved to be a good decision so far. 2nd and long for Georgia State. Looking outside, and they do give them the completion to the sometimes running back, sometimes wide receiver, Glenn Smith.
Good coverage there by Caleb Williams. Thought it might have hit the ground. He came up. He certainly thought so. Once again, though, we talked about that matchup with 51, Jamal Johnson. Was in the backfield again. I mean, he's doing a great job. At that time, he was working over Alex Storr.
Johnson is the middleman on the spread defensive line right now on 3rd down. Arbuckle steps up, tried to dump it down, incomplete, and Georgia State going to go 3 and out on its 2nd drive.
Probably one of those plays right there where he probably could have kept the ball and maybe run for the first down. Great vision. When a queer quarterback, you're trying to make a play. Sometimes you got to make a play with your feet.
Here's a look at Arbuckle as Will Lutz comes on to punt. Now this is a danger area. Georgia Southern is second in the country with 3 punt blocks this year. And Georgia State has been vulnerable to it as well. Low bouncer, Derek Keaton tells everybody to get away. It does roll in Georgia State's favor. Down to the 43.
Not only that, Derek Keaton is one heck of a return guy.
Winds up as a 45-yard kick for Lutz. Georgia Southern with the ball when we come back.
Get ready, Eagle Nation.
One thing that I learned when I was in the hospital, my family never walked into my room with a frown on their face. They walked in with an attitude that they're going to make my day better by their presence. So remember, make a difference today for someone who is fighting for tomorrow.
Help us beat cancer. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. As Georgia Southern throws incomplete. My favorite part of that, 100% of donations go to cancer research. They don't have to deal with the administrative fees. Those are taken care of. Terrific cause as part of Jimmy V Week here on ESPN. Right here in Statesboro, Georgia, Georgia Southern trying to get its rushing attack going. This is the second possession. They will use multiple quarterbacks, but Kevin Ellison getting both of the first 2 series. He's going to pass again. Going up top, looking for Keaton. In and out of his hands.
Great job right here with the play action. Secondary bites on it. I mean, the offensive line does a great job. They have to bite on the play action because they're such a threat in the run game. This is a terrific throw. You can't ask for a better throw. Hits him right in the bread basket. Right in the bread basket, and he drops it. Oh, I know he wish he could have that.
Derek Keaton has been so good for them on punt returns. He and Ellison couldn't connect on a pitch in a game a couple of weeks ago, and he couldn't haul that one in despite a terrific throw. Brings up 3rd and 10. Yeah, when's the last time you saw Georgia Southern throw 3 passes in a row? Not going to happen, but Ellison can't pick up the first. And Georgia State's defense, Vonnie, off to a great start.
Early in this game, Georgia State's defense is playing tremendously well. I mean, you talk to Coach Trent Miles, and to be sitting where you are right now, having 3 and outs, you couldn't ask for a better start defensively. Now, offensively, they need to get it going. They have to take advantage of some of those one-on-one matchups and get the ball down the field and change field position.
Ryan Nowicki gets his second kick away, and it's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 17. So it'll make it about a 40-yard kick for Nowicki.
Nowicki has one of the more interesting punting styles. Most of his balls look like that. They don't allow too many returns.
Here's more on the Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research. You know the numbers. Everyone's going to be affected by this, whether personally, in your family, with your friends. And this is a week to do something about it, to donate. Again, 1-800-4-JIMMY-V, your opportunity to donate during the Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research.
Every time I watch that Jimmy V special, I mean, just emotional, just unbelievable how inspiring he has been. The story of his life and his battle with cancer and what has come of it since.
First catch of the day for Robert Davis. That makes 36 games in a row with a catch for Davis, every game of his career. And that's the best first down gain for Georgia State today. Matt Dobson in on the coverage.
Gain 8.
They do give it to Bateman, and he has the first down. So of the two offenses, Georgia State has executed better so far, minus the one turnover.
They certainly have. They certainly have. This offensive line, these guys have really gelled and come together and doing a good job. The block down, kick out. Football one-on-one. Nothing scientific, not rocket science. Body on a body, make you make the play. Running back puts his foot in the ground, gets yardage.
Alex Storr, the right guard, pulled and had the block on that play as Penny Hart sneaks outside and is close to, but just shy of, the first down marker.
Great job on the edge right there, blocking by Hart. And Donovan is one of those guys in the, that they look to make big plays down the field. But you see, as a receiver, not only receiver, you got to do a good job of blocking on the edge and allow him to get the corner.
Antonio Glover, the safety, came over to force Hart out of bounds. Another second and manageable, though, for Georgia State. See Arbuckle checking off. He has a couple of options on most plays. Tight coverage, and Tay Hicklin is right. It's incomplete.
Really tight coverage there by Tay Hicklin. I really like what Coach Jags is doing, the offensive coordinator for Georgia State. Getting them into manageable situations on second down, doing a great job on first down, mixing it up with the run, the pass, short passing game. Now, we'll see what they do here. Very manageable third down right here. Georgia Southern needs to bow up right here. It's probably going to be a pass because that's what they do. But they've been having a lot of success with their backs out of the backfield with the angle routes and out in the flats.
So they empty the backfield.
Maybe Rucker time.
Incomplete as Caleb Williams arrived with perfect timing. Robert Davis, the intended target.
And we talked earlier about the slants. I mean, great job by the defender of establishing himself, his position. Great job right here, establishing his position. And I think that was number 19, Caleb Williams. Does a good job, establishes his position, runs the route for the receiver.
I think he's been studying some tape. So Will Lutz will punt again. There's Derek Keaton.
Dangerous return man.
Barely got the kick away. Keaton will take this one. Breaks one tackle. And gets about 6 on the return out to the 28. 38-yard kick. And Georgia Southern will have its third possession. Hardly effective at all on the first two. Just 10 rushing yards. We saw them throw 2 passes in a row on the last sequence, which we didn't expect. What can they do, Vonnie, to change things up?
I think they got to get back to their brand of football. You know, Coach Doug Roos, the offensive coordinator right now, has to get Breida the ball. It's going to be very important to get him involved in the game. Right now we have Fabian Upshaw in the game. Try to change up the pace right here. Give you a different look. Here's a guy who has world-class speed. So expect to see a lot of the option right here.
Upshaw gives to Breida, and he's thrown back.
This Georgia State defense is fired up, and they are not going to be pushed around. One thing that was in watching film with this Georgia Southern team, not only are they good on running, not only are they good at running the option, but they like to run the ball downhill and play some power football. But Georgia State, these guys are fired up. Big Melvin King in there getting it done for Georgia State with the tackle for loss, or a very minimal gain.
Now again, Upshaw at quarterback, this is normal. This is not because the first 2 series were bad. The third series usually is his. He'll option here, and good coverage by Georgia State to take away the pitch. It's a 3-yard loss.
Hey, Georgia State's watched that Georgia University of Georgia game versus Georgia Southern. And these guys are doing a good job. They talked about earlier about the importance of containing the play and allowing those very athletic linebackers to make plays in open field. And that was an example of it right there.
There you see Upshaw.
Down and 12 for Georgia Southern.
Played in all 11 games this year. Started the first 2 when Ellison had an academic suspension. And then again, they've split time ever since. 3rd and 12. Upshaw will throw. Has B.J. Johnson right at the first down marker. This is going to be close.
Great job there by the official. Just a nice play action right here. A nice route. Recognized the scheme. Went ahead and run a corner route. No corner out there. Great job of putting that foot in the ground and getting to the marker. You know, it's not. We talked about this earlier. I mean, football is a game of it's physical, but it's 90% mental. I mean, that play right there, yeah, he got to the sticks, throw the ball to him, let him make a play. Good job.
They did give him the first down. Here's Breida straight up the middle, and he falls forward for a good gain.
You got a feeling that Coach Doug Roos he's setting them up for something right now. They do a lot of things off that jet sweep motion. A lot of power running. They come downhill with it. Every once in a while, he pulls it. He runs the option with the guy in the jet sweep motion, and then sometimes he gives it to him and he takes off around the edge. Let's see what happens here on this next play.
Both Breida and Wesley Fields are in the backfield. 96 is Jeff Ward, another one of the blocking tight ends in there with Upshaw, the quarterback. Upshaw tries to hold on to it. He's thrown down. Taris Batiste said, "Not in my house." Or in your house, as the case may be.
And I tell you, I mean, this Georgia State defense they've been really impressive thus far. I mean, really doing a good job. You see them here, they're stringing it out. There's no way for him to go to the ball. They're making him, there's too much indecision. When you're running the option, you got to make the pitch or you got to turn it upfield and go with it. And right now, the Georgia State defense is putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback so that he can't do that. It's too much indecision right now for Georgia Southern and Upshaw.
The Eagles face 3rd and 9. They're going to option. Flag flies at the line of scrimmage, and Upshaw is going to be short of the first down anyway.
Upshaw on the quarterback keeper.
A lot of frustration for Georgia Southern in this first quarter. Now they're showing offside. We'll wait and see what the call is.
Usually a flag in that area means holding.
Right.
Chop block on the offense, number 58 and number 60. That penalty has declined. The result of the play is a 4th down.
All right, so you heard it. Chop block against the Georgia Southern offensive line. It's going to be declined, but here's a look. .58, Jeremiah Colbreth.
Man, that was one of those calls that, I don't know, Jonathan, I don't know.
That's a defensive lineman saying that.
As a defensive lineman, I can appreciate the call, but I'm sure Coach is not going to be too happy about that when they look back at the replay.
41-yard kick by Nowicki. Georgia State will start at its own 15. And here's a look at the top 5 in the Sun Belt Conference. The top 3 all going to bowl games. Brett McMurphy from ESPN has reported that Georgia Southern most likely going to the GoDaddy Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. If either Georgia State or South Alabama wins today, they're going to a bowl game. And for either program, Vonnie, that would be a big deal.
Huge for Coach Trent Miles and Georgia State. This Georgia State football team, he's been building. He talked about the process of making the switch to the FBS and what that entails and how they've been just step by step getting there. Starting with something as simple as a weight room, getting their own weight room for the first time, and how proud he was of that. Nutritionists, all those things. But they're building a program there. They're laying the foundation. A win would be huge here. And right now, they're in this game.
Arbuckle takes off and has the first down with his legs. He's got some mobility. And we were talking about teams 4 and 5 in those standings. 1 through 3 is still interesting because Arkansas State unbeaten, Appalachian State, Georgia Southern each with 1 loss. So still a hope for a share of the conference title. Nothing separating these teams after 1 quarter of play. Georgia State on the move when we come back. Back in Statesboro, Georgia, where we're still scoreless, but not for a lack of action. Georgia State has had the better of play, but that turnover, the interception by Matt Dobson, has kept Georgia Southern in it. The defense, probably of Georgia State, Vonnie, has been the story of the game so far.
Very, very impressive. Going into this game, you would have told me that Georgia State would force 3, 4, 4 and outs in the first quarter and hold Matt Breida to 11 yards. I'd say I wouldn't bet on it. But they've certainly stepped up to the challenge and are playing lights out right now. Now they need to get something going offensively here to complement what the defense has been doing thus far.
Their first drive was good. Got into Georgia Southern territory. You saw the interception. No gain on first down. Brings up 2nd and 10 for Nick Arbuckle and troops. Under pressure, just had to dump it at the feet of Glenn Smith. It'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Panthers.
Great pressure off the edge by big Bernard Dawson. Put pressure on Arbuckle.
Time of possession is the one that stands out to me. There's a lot of important numbers here, but usually Georgia Southern dominates that category.
They normally don't dominate time of possession and yards, which is interesting right here.
Last year, to put it in perspective, Georgia Southern ran for 621 yards against Georgia State. First quarter this year, 14. Third and 10. Offside flag goes against Georgia Southern, and Arbuckle throws downfield, but I think Gallen, in trying to blitz, stepped offside.
I think you're absolutely right, Jonathan. I'm sure this defense is getting a little frustrated right now, playing from a position that they're not used to.
Offsides on the defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
And at the walkthrough yesterday, they worked on that exact situation, bringing the outside linebackers around the edges on a timing blitz, and the timing for Gallen there just a little bit off.
It is. I mean, at this point, you're a playmaker on this defense, and you're trying to make a play for your team to get something going, to get this crowd in the game. That time, just a little too anxious.
After the penalty, it's 3rd down and 5 for Georgia State.
Georgia State converted its first 3 third down opportunities, has been stopped on the last 2. Here they face 3rd and 5. Again, the offside flag goes. Johnson knocked it down, but that timing is probably going to cost Georgia Southern big time.
Once again, the blitz. Arbuckle in this offense of Georgia State, they're doing a great job. They're being patient. They're not rushing. That one was close. Are they going to call that on Big 37? Antoine Williams, is that who they called it on?
I think so. He looked a little bit farther forward than Gallen, but that was closer.
Offsides on the defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty that results in a 1st down.
They called it against Gallen again. There's Ironhead. And again, they've been coached to make that rush and really toe the line, and unfortunately, they've stepped over it.
Defensive coordinator for Southern, Jack Curtis, is not very happy with his defense right now and his outside linebackers. Those guys that are the guys that he needs to make plays. Got to do a better job of timing that up.
So fresh set of downs for Georgia State. Arbuckle, play action. Penny Hart is off to the races. Georgia State is in front.
That's complete to number 18, Penny Hart, for a Georgia State touchdown.
63 yards to the freshman out of Buford, Georgia.
Got some flags in the end zone for taunting, I think. But we talked about Penny early. This kid, possibly, arguably, one of the best freshman receivers in all of college football. Maybe his 9th touchdown on the season.
I'll give him 8.
You give him 8? He's not done yet.
I can't give him the 9th yet.
He's not done yet.
Yeah, you've got some foreshadowing there. You can see unsportsmanlike emotion against the defense.
Penny
After
Hart,
the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 9. That is his first unsportsmanlike foul of the game. That foul will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
So it was on the offense. It was on Donovan Harden. But here's the play.
Great job with the play action. Bateman's been effective in the run game, and one-on-one just beat him off the line of scrimmage. Penny Hartman. Here's a guy who was not heavily recruited.
Heavily, he wasn't recruited at all.
Small guy at what, 5'10"?
You are being generous today, my friend.
5'8".
This is a guy who showed up at Georgia State's summer camp, and they didn't know what they had. Nobody else recruited him. He's got 8 touchdowns, and he's got Georgia State up 7-zip.
Welcome back to Paulson Stadium, where Georgia State, the underdogs, just went up by 7 with the big strike down the field of Penny Hartman. You see the play action there by Harbuckle, recognizes the one-on-one coverage. Penny Hart does a great job of winning off of the line of scrimmage into the end zone for a touchdown. One of the best young freshman receivers in all of college football. Feed me, he's saying, feed me.
The Georgia State coaches said when they played Oregon, they came down the elevator at halftime with the Oregon coaches, and the Oregon coach said, "Who is this guy?" Nobody recruited him. And I mean, he's 5'8". It's tough for teams to see past that sometimes. He has shown why he needs to be considered. And as you said, one of 2 true freshmen on the Biletnikoff Award watch list. And believe me, he was added after the initial list came out. They had to see him play to put him on there.
For all you kids out there who aren't being recruited, get into these camps and go show these coaches what you can do. You could be the next Penny Hart.
Now, because of the penalty, Georgia State had to kick off from 15 yards farther back. Derek Keaton returns it across the 35. And Georgia Southern, which has struggled mightily on offense, 14 yards rushing, 12 passing, will go to work.
You know, this game is really interesting the way that it's playing out, Jonathan. I mean, special teams and defense, and when you're on the road, as Georgia State is, you have to play well in those areas and also win the turnover battle. Not winning the turnover battle right now, but doing a great job on defense and in special teams, keeping Keaton from making the explosive plays.
Kevin Ellison back in at quarterback. A little bit of a counter option there, and it's bottled up. He dives forward, gets about 3 yards on the play, but that's going to be it. And once again, Georgia State had that covered.
Georgia State is going to force Georgia Southern to do something that they don't like to do, and that's pass the ball. They're going to load the box up and make you beat them with the passing game.
They get the play squared away. Near side option, they do get it to Breida. He's got the first down, and now he's dragged down out of bounds. That's what the crowd at Paulson Stadium expected to see.
That's what they're used to, and that is the first time I think we've seen all game where he's been allowed to get around the corner. Great job here by the offensive line, getting body on a body, getting the edge there. Great job blocking downfield. First time he's turned upfield and had the opportunity to get positive yards on that play.
That's B.J. Johnson, number 12, and Keegan Williams, number 83, blocking in front of him. This is L.A. Ramsby running between the tackles, just like a battering ram, and I think he's got 6 on first down.
What a difference. Got that option play going on the first play, opens things up a little bit. Now they're able to get some yards up the middle, 5 yards, and we have a player down. I think that's 52.
Tevin Jones is back on his feet now. As you get a look at Willie Fritz, came over from Sam Houston State. This is a guy who coached junior college at Blinn in Texas, Division II at Central Missouri, Division I FCS at Sam Houston State. Now he's in the big time with Georgia Southern.
And he wins everywhere he goes.
Took Sam Houston State to back-to-back national title games, falling to North Dakota State. Georgia Southern to a conference title last year in its debut season in FBS. Ellison keeps up the middle this time and is driven back short of the first down. Now a flag flies for some extracurriculars.
He was hit hard by Peterson, middle linebacker. Number 6 coming up and filling the hole.
There is a flag on the play.
Both these teams known for their offenses, but each team has a middle linebacker with some serious backstory. Antoine Williams for Georgia Southern, Joe Peterson for Georgia State.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down. That is the first unsportsmanlike foul of the game for number 2.
That's Bobby Baker, the safety who transferred in from UAB.
uncharacteristic because here's a guy that, Trent Miles raved about being a guy that fit the mold for what he's trying to do here at Georgia State. We talked about the chippiness early. These guys are still fired up, but you have to be smart.
Georgia Southern at the 24. Give goes to Ramsby, falling forward for another big gain. Baker on the tackle. Still talking about it, but there is a flag in the backfield.
Back with that pistol look. Here we go. We talked about a power running game, pulling a big guy, 6'2", Ryan Northrop around.
16. Late hit on the quarterback. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down. That is the first unsportsmanlike foul of number 16 of the game.
Jerome Smith, redshirt freshman cornerback. That's the third unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Georgia State. Look at the top of the screen. That's where the flag was thrown. Yeah, he takes a cheap shot at Kevin Ellison, the quarterback, away from the play.
And I know Coach Trent Miles is over there wondering what in the heck is going on. That is just an ill-advised play. Getting this Georgia Southern team fired up. Two costly penalties.
3 if you count the one that gave Georgia Southern the field position to start with. Matt Breida got down to the 1-yard line there. There's Smith.
Taking down goal for the Eagles from the 1-yard line.
He is young. He is a redshirt freshman. Maybe that's part of the growing pains.
Game 12. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to give him that one. Second and goal at the 1. No signal yet, and they stopped Breida short of the goal line.
Nice penetration by that Georgia State defensive front. These guys get off the ball. They know what's coming right here. Georgia Southern tried to come with the power game, not having it. Good job of Taris Batiste coming up and finishing off that tackle.
Trey Payne, number 42, I think hit him first. Brings up third and goal, and Breida out, replaced by L.A. Ramsby. Ramsby tried to go low, and he dives over for the touchdown. L.A. Ramsby with the second effort.
You called it absolutely right. Great job there with the second effort. Initially, the big offensive line that gets a movement here, not a whole lot.
It was Payne again.
Payne coming up in there, but just didn't get quite enough because with the second effort, he was able to get across the line there.
How about Ramsby keeping his knee off the ground? It was close.
These running backs for Southern are very, very impressive. I mean, all of these guys.
Younghoe Koo, junior kicker from Ridgewood, New Jersey, adds the extra point and ties the score. L.A. Ramsby, his 20th game of the last 22 in which he has scored a touchdown. He's got us tied at 7. The Georgia Southern sideline feeling a lot better after they got into the end zone to tie the game with this push up front, Vonnie.
Great job by the offensive line. You see the center, big Andy Kwan, come around and seal that edge and ramp. But great job we talked about it before, of not stopping your feet, keeping that knee off the ground, and that second effort of getting into the end zone to give this Georgia Southern team a much-needed lift. Ramsey scoring his first touchdown of the day.
Again, not the featured back, but he is a touchdown machine. Scored touchdowns in the last 10 games of last year, and now 10 out of 12 this year.
Who in this backfield is not a touchdown scoring machine? All these guys
Fair
are impressive.
Question. So 7-7. Georgia State set to get the ball back as Koo will put up yet another touchback. Now, Vonnie, the odds of Georgia Southern getting a share of the Sun Belt title are not great. Arkansas State is a heavy favorite today, whereas Georgia State with a win can be bowl eligible. So in some ways, the Panthers have more to play for. How is that affecting what we've seen so far?
I mean, you see it. I mean, we talked to Coach Trent Miles about this, and and Coach Jags about this, and the way that Georgia State team is playing these last several weeks, and how they wish they had more time to play because they're finally starting to get this thing going. Offensively, Harbaugh is clicking all cylinders. Defensively, they're making plays. They're getting off the field, and the feel around that Georgia State locker room, that Georgia State organization, is that the time is now. And if they can just get this win today and get into a bowl game, great things can happen for them.
Arbuckle picks up 3 on the zone read, and they continue to make enough rushing yardage to keep the defense honest.
Giving them some different looks there. Arbuckle on the zone read, not really what he does there. I mean, we expect that more from Georgia Southern, but hey, it's working right now.
Arbuckle has thrown for 126, run for 15 so far today. Smith against a linebacker in Gallen on this near side. They look that way, and they're stuffed. Ryan George with the big sack.
You know, it's that time, Arbuckle, we talked about this earlier about how normally he does a great job of recognizing the defense and what they're trying to do to you. Great disguise there by Georgia Southern. One man unblocked on the edge. That's the quarterback's guy. He never saw him. He got lit up from the blind side. Never had a chance right on that play.
Draw goes to Smith, and he doesn't have a whole lot. Snowed under. Chris De La Rosa was the first one to hit him, and Georgia State's going to be forced to punt.
You're starting to feel the momentum in Paulson Stadium shift here right now. It's Georgia Southern team. They scored. The offense got something going. Now the defense is fired up. Big play on second down with the sack. Led to not a very manageable situation in the third down, and they went with something uncharacteristic, the draw play.
Do you go for the block here, or do you try to set up the return? They look like they're going for the block.
You're at home. Go for the block, and you're good at it. And you have one of the best returners in football.
Gets it away. Keaton will take it at the 38. It's a 40-yard kick, and not much of a return in the end. Georgia Southern got the touchdown to get back in the game, and then their defense turned it up. Ryan George applying the pressure. Eagles get the ball back after this. Six FCS national championships in the history of Georgia Southern. They're in a dogfight right now, though, with Georgia State 7-7, and Willie Fritz's team currently being held well below its scoring average. When they win, they usually win big because they can put up points in a hurry with this offense.
They can put up points in a early. When they score more than 30 points, they usually rush for more than 300 yards. It kind of goes hand in hand with what his formula is for winning around here, or has been his formula for winning.
Now here's a look in the backfield. Tight stack of 2 behind Ellison. He runs the option with Breida. Perfect timing that time. First down for Georgia Southern. The last time they got the corner, his pitch was a little bit behind him.
Somebody.
This time it was on schedule, but at the end of it, Matt Breida's down.
A very, very different look with the 2 running backs behind the quarterback, but they're doing everything they can to get this Georgia State defense off balance. Once again, great job blocking on the edge. At the end there, I think his ankle may have gotten caught underneath on the tackle. But here you are for the second time seeing them good. Good job of sealing the edge right there at the end. Batista may have landed on his ankle a little awkwardly. He's still down.
Breida, a junior from Brooksville, Florida. He had just 1 carry as a freshman, and then the last 2 years has been phenomenal. Over the 3,000-yard mark in his career today. And an appreciative round of applause from this crowd as he gets back to his feet.
Yeah, everyone in this stadium was holding their breath there as he lied there on the ground, but hopefully he's going to be okay. As you hear the Breida chants in the background, they know how important he is to this offense and this team.
Next man up, true freshman Wesley Fields gets the ball from Ellison. They really like Fields, and he falls near the 45 for a gain of 3. They said Fields will stand on the side and watch everything that Breida does. And then as soon as he's on the field, try to mimic it.
As a player, and once I became, as a young player, you know, I was told to be a sponge. You know, when you want to be the best player you can be a sponge. Watch the veteran players, watch the older guys, the guys who have gotten it done. And that's what I tried to do, and I think one of the reasons I may have been able to last for so long in the NFL.
The tailback fell down. Ellison made the best of it. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 for the Eagles.
Broken play there, but Ellison's he's another running back in the backfield. I mean, he's another running back, another threat. Running back goes down, so what? I'll take it myself and get some yards.
Well, the hole's still there.
Offensive line, they have no idea that the running back fell down. They're still blocking. Great job by Ellison keeping the play alive.
And this is probably 4-down territory, but Georgia Southern would like to pick it up on 3rd. They're going to throw. Ellison under pressure, stepping up. He's just short of the 1st down, and we may have a 4th and short coming up.
He is tackled by Joseph Peterson.
Once again, good job by Georgia State. Putting some pressure on them here, the play action. They didn't bite on it, continued to rush the passer. Had plenty of time, actually missed a wide open receiver on the backside. And then a good job of Peterson rallying to the ball, tackling him low, getting on those legs.
4th and 1. Straight up the middle. 1st down yardage for Georgia Southern and L.A. Ramsby.
And met there by Caleb Ringer, but low man wins, Jonathan. Low man wins. He had the 4 lean. A load of steam coming downhill. Caleb did not get low enough. Actually a good read by Caleb, but nice finish by Ramsey.
So Georgia Southern starting to get its running attack in gear. Ellison, wide open receiver, B.J. Johnson has another 1st down inside the 20.
Once Georgia Southern gets this running game going, it opens up the play action and allows Ellison, a guy who's, this is not what he normally does, an opportunity to drop back in that pocket and hit the wide open receiver down the field.
Johnson has both catches today for Georgia Southern. This is a guy who broke his clavicle, missed 4 games, came back way faster than they expected. And in his first game back, his first catch was a leaping somersault where he came down on his shoulders. And he did it with no fear.
4 games and he's still the leading receiver.
Yeah.
Handoff goes to L.A. Ramsey.
Short pickup on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Georgia Southern. Still no Breida. It's been Ramsby and Fields alternating reps in the backfield. Breida is on his feet walking around on the near sideline. Ellison, pitch is deflected. That's the danger, and he got it back. He likes to walk a fine line with that pitch, and I believe it was Taurus Batiste who got a hand in there.
It was Taurus Batiste, and unfortunately it looks like Taurus Batiste is shaking up on the play. He's down, but Taurus does a good job. We talked about this earlier, about them doing a good job of containing it and setting an edge. That time he did, was able to get his hand in the flight path of the ball. A late pitch there by Ellison. If Taurus misses that, that's out the gate.
Yeah. Batiste came over from Indiana State with Trent Miles.
You see it there with the read option, puts it in there, pulls it out. Just a great job by Taurus. Up the field, making a play. And a heads-up play by Ellison and getting back on that ball because it is live.
Batiste not the player down for Georgia State. It is big Mackendy Cherador. And a good sign to see him sitting up.
We got a chance before the game. We were down on the field to talk briefly with Big McKindy. One of the last guys off the field in warm-ups.
This is how Vonnie approaches pregame on the field. He picks the biggest guy possible and wants to go introduce himself.
Sometimes it's weird because I don't really feel like I'm a big guy anymore.
You are.
And when I'm out walking around these guys and more big people.
3rd down and 11 for Georgia Southern from the 19. It's the tight end Ward in motion. Give goes to Fields, running that way, trying to cut it back, and he's pulled down by Joseph Peterson, the outstanding linebacker. Crucial tackle.
Outstanding play. And, you know, in talking with Coach Miles during the week, he talked about how confident he was and how important it would be going into this game on the play just like this to Reed. He gave it to him, making a play in the open field one-on-one. If they're going to have any success, they have to be able to do that to stop this running attack.
Be a 37-yard attempt for Younghoe Koo. He's 7 out of 8 on the year. Pushed it wide right. Just his 2nd miss of the year. And it's going to stay 7-7. That is demoralizing for Georgia Southern after they had put together one of their best drives.
Certainly is, Jonathan. And in that situation, I mean, momentum going in your favor, playing well defensively, just had a big score, offensively moving the ball down the field. You love to capitalize on that with a score here. Kind of igniting that Georgia State team again. I mean, these guys, that's a win for them. The bend but don't break. We're in this game. Rallying the troops on the sideline. Let's see what Harbuckle does out of the gate here.
You can kind of hear it in the stadium. A bit of stunned. It's still 7-7 with 3:29 left in the first half. Arbuckle to throw on 1st down. Has to throw it away under some pressure. Again, Jamal Johnson in there along with Bernard Dawson.
I'm not sure what happened in practice or who was in charge of making the decision to promote Big Johnson, but it was the right call. He is giving these guys fits in the backfield for Georgia State.
Arbuckle 8 out of 18 today. The senior leader of this Georgia State team does have the long touchdown pass to Penny Hart. Throws in Hart's direction. He's pushed out quickly by Darius Jones. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Brings up 3rd down and 6
or 6. They moved it back a yard.
Those quick little passes out, you know, on 2nd down, make it a more manageable 3rd down, just like a nice run.
Crowd on its feet here. Arbuckle going up top, overshot his intended receiver. And that was Harden, another one of the big play threats.
And Harden's a guy who, you know, you look to make big plays for Georgia State in the passing game. We just haven't seen him today, and that's just off the fingertips there. Arbuckle normally a guy a bit more accurate. You know, you talk about in the opening what kind of quarterback he is, how accurate he is, and normally more precise, but I know he wishes he can get that one back. But Harden has to get going for Georgia State.
Lutz's best kick of the day. He's going to roll out inside the 20, 57 yards on the punt for Will Lutz. That's his long on the season, and really shifted the field with 2:37 to go for an attack that's not built for a 2-minute offense.
It's really not, but they got to step up here. And Ellison's a guy who's very capable of getting it done if he's going to go back in. And I think he is. But we talked about these running backs, Jonathan, and at any time, these guys can take it the distance. They all have breakaway speed, and they're always concerned when you're on defense, defending that option along with that power game, that Ellison, Ramsey, Field, these guys all have what it takes to go the distance on any play.
It is L.A. Ramsby getting the carry with Matt Breida still sidelined. And not much there on first down. Caleb Ringer, number 11, one of those in on the tackle. Carnell Hobson, 55, another.
This Georgia State defensive line, maybe not quite as big as Georgia Southern's offensive line, but they are getting it done right now up front.
Early pitch to Ramsby, cuts it upfield and is hit hard. Alonzo McGee, number 4, in the middle of it all. And Georgia State will call its second timeout here.
Hey, Trent Miles and Coach Jagodisky over there thinking that they got a chance to maybe add to their points. It's going with managing this clock in the game at the end of the first half.
Let's reset the game clock. 1:54 on the game clock.
I mean, I have to say this, Jonathan. We just got a pleasant surprise in the booth with us here.
We are going to be joined by the governor of the state of Georgia during our halftime break here. The newest rivalry of FBS teams in the state of Georgia.
Governor, I watched too much Scandal. I was expecting a big detail to come in ahead of you.
So 3rd and 6 here. Fields is the tailback alongside Ellison. And Ellison way off target, looking for Keegan Williams, but a flag comes in late.
Keegan Williams, there is
A very, very late flag there. See what the call is.
Yeah, Trent Miles is doing what I was doing. He's saying uncatchable.
We talked about it earlier, how Georgia Southern's not built for this type of offense. And there you see in the pass game, they weren't on the same page.
Holding on the defense, number 16. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So Jerome Smith called for the holding penalty.
So you were absolutely right. I mean, not pass interference,
Right.
but didn't allow him to get out of his break holding there. Makes sense.
So 1:49, and Georgia Southern out at its own 34. Ellison gonna throw again, going up top, almost spectacular from Williams.
Keegan Williams is incomplete.
And he wasn't the only man open on the play.
For Georgia State.
It's almost a heck of a catch.
A great catch. Great job in the pocket under pressure there. Gets the ball down the field in a spot where only his receiver can make the play, just off the fingertips. Great effort there by Keegan. Georgia Southern has one of the more interesting huddles in all of football. I don't know if I've ever seen this. And in watching them on film, they stand there about 3 yards from the ball, then turn around real quick and line up, and they're off to the races.
Straight up the middle, and Ramsby doesn't have much there, and Georgia State will call timeout number 3.
After 2
Timeout. Georgia State, that is their third and final timeout of the first half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
After 2 shots down the field, interesting to come back with the play up the middle. I'd like to see them try to get out on the edges again with the option play. I mean, that's your bread and butter. Run it. Make them stop it.
And they've been running wide receivers around the back like they're going to do a jet sweep or make the wide receiver the pitch man. They haven't done it yet. You feel like they're setting Georgia State up for it.
I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure offensive coordinator Doug Roos is it's a chess match. And a lot of times it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You know, you got to get throughout the course of the game. And it's always interesting to see these coaches as they go back and forth with their moves and and how they set things up. And as a player, didn't have enough respect for that. Just didn't.
When did you start to get it?
Maybe after I started coaching low league football.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Let's say you're not that far removed from your playing days. 3rd and 7 here with 1.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Georgia State hoping to get one more crack in this half. Straight drop again. B.J. Johnson the target, and they're going to give him the first down.
Very, very generous spot there.
You can see why they throw to him. He's got all 3 catches today.
Great catch there.
Peterson bumped him off. And he was able to make the catch right in front of the outside man on the zone. Clock runs after the chains are moved. They go quickly to Longoria. And Ryan Longoria, the senior from Hacienda Heights, California, gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Nice play design, quick throw and catch on the edge. Nice blocking downfield. Allows the receiver to get out of bounds and stop this clock in hopes of getting some more points on the board before the end of the first half.
Younghoe Koo, their kicker, missed from 37. They'd like to give him another chance before the clock runs out here. Ellison rolls. He wants to throw back. Doesn't have it. Looks for Johnson. First down catch once again. He's got 4.
Well. Who is it? I mean, there's a reason why this guy, he does a great job of running a route. Good job of stretching the field, putting his foot in the ground and stopping on the dime and coming back to the ball. Ellison does a great job of getting down the edge, avoiding the rush, keeping his eyes down the field. A nice throw. Good job by the receiver looking back and recognizing his quarterback is in trouble, coming back to the ball and making a play.
Under a minute to go. Wesley Fields tried to go outside, and he's taken down. Batiste and Shawanye Lawrence combined, but another flag flies in.
Getting a little sloppy here at the end of the first half. A lot of flags.
Georgia Southern players are saying it's against Georgia State. Each team has been called for 4 penalties, but Georgia State's have been far more costly today.
After the play, there were 2 fouls for unsportsmanlike conduct on number 23 of the offense. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game, and unsportsmanlike conduct for number 16 of the defense. That is his second unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. By rule, he is disqualified. Second down.
Jerome Smith ejected after his second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game. Derek Keaton, the player penalized from Georgia Southern.
And we talked about this earlier. I mean, you're not a freshman anymore, or a redshirt freshman. You're 12 games into the season. You have to know better.
So
costly.
Bruce Dukes, redshirt senior transfer from UCF, will step in at cornerback in place of Smith. 2nd and 11. You see Jerome Smith off on the side. Kevin Ellison throwing. It's picked off by Taurus Batiste. Timed it perfectly, and Batiste returns it out to the 40-yard line. Flags fly as both teams come together on the sideline. And these tempers have been simmering since 12 o'clock, threatened to boil over near halftime.
And the refs tried to nip this stuff in the bud early. They came out and threw personal fouls on both teams, and it hasn't worked. I mean, this rivalry is heated, and these kids are fired up. And right now, the problem is it's affecting the outcome of the game. These guys are hurting their teams.
It actually looked like Batiste, who earlier we had thought might be one of those to incite it, stepped out of bounds and tried to avoid any controversy, but there were still bodies flying on that sideline.
And of course, you don't want to take anything away from Taurus. Great play.
After the play was over with, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 53. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards, 1st and 10 for Georgia State. That is number 53's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
Tanner Strickland called for the penalty, but this is, as you said, a great play by Batiste.
Great job of coming across, reading the quarterback, the interception. Then a nice, after the interception, becoming a runner and doing a great job of getting upfield. And here at the end, gets out of bounds. I don't know if there's a late hit. I'm not sure what happens here that incites this.
Oh, there's not a lot in that.
It's just guys on the sideline getting fired up.
He shoved the Georgia Southern player, but the player went down easily as well.
And Ellison for Southern, just the timing was off because the receiver was open there early, but he threw the ball too late and allowed Torres to come over and get the interception. Looks like Georgia State's fine with what's going on in the game so far. Going to calm their guys down a little bit, take a knee and take it into half. Tied up 7-7.
That should do it on our first half. We didn't get the points we expected. We had fireworks of a different sort, and we have a tight one going into the locker rooms, 7-7. We're going to be joined by the governor of Georgia, Nathan Deal, during our halftime report. We'll have highlights and much more as well. Georgia Southern and Georgia State, their second all-time meeting, the first one in Statesboro, all tied up at 7 after 30 minutes. Penny Hart at one end, L.A. Ramsey with a touchdown at the other. 7 all at the half.
You're all excited to book that vacation flight. Plenty of seats to choose from, right? But the minute you try to use reward miles from your airline credit card, it's slim pickings. The flight you want, sorry, they ask for a ridiculous number of miles. Time to switch to the Capital One Venture card. With Venture, you'll earn unlimited double miles. And using those miles is easy. Just book any flight you want on any airline, then use your miles to cover the cost. No blackout dates. What's in your wallet?
Welcome into the Capital One halftime report from Paulson Stadium in Statesboro, Georgia. All square 7-7 between Georgia State and Georgia Southern at halftime. We welcome you into the booth. I'm Jonathan Yardley, joined by Georgia Governor Nathan Deal. Governor, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here. Quite a game.
Now we know Georgians love their football. You said you were at Georgia Tech, Georgia as well. How does the intensity in that rivalry compare to this much newer one?
Well, these are all very intense games because they are teams that are playing extremely hard. I don't think anybody expected this to be such a defensive game up to this point, but it's a great day for football in Georgia.
Now both Georgia Southern and Georgia State trying to build their brands, develop a lot more. How has the state worked with them as far as infrastructure and investing in education?
Well, of course, both of these institutions are a very important part of our higher education community in the state of Georgia. Both are great universities, and they continue to be a part of where we pour our higher education dollars into these institutions. For example, here at Georgia Southern, they're going to be the first school in the Southeast to offer a very intensive precision engineering program. We put an extra $1 million in the budget this year to begin that process. And like most of our universities, we put bond money into the schools to build new facilities. Here at Georgia Southern this year, we have about $33.6 million in our state bond package to build a new academic facility here on the campus. So both of these are great schools.
All right, now we have to ask you before you go, any predictions for the second half? I know you're not leaning one way, but what are you expecting in the second half?
Well, everybody's prediction was that Georgia Southern was going to win this by a comfortable margin. Since both of these are Georgia schools that I have to support and do support, I just wish them both the best of luck.
Good answer. Nathan Deal, the governor of Georgia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll take a break, come back with more on our Capital One halftime report. 7-7 in Statesboro at the half. Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report. We're enjoying the newest FBS rivalry in the state of Georgia. Georgia Southern and Georgia State all square 7-7 at halftime. I'm Jonathan Yardley with 15-year NFL veteran Vonnie Holliday. You and I don't have any problems. We don't have any rooting interest, but these teams have had trouble keeping their hands off each other once the play's over in this game. How has that affected the first half?
You're absolutely right, Jonathan. And because of it, they're missing a key player. They're missing a key player on defense, and it's really affected the flow of the game for both teams. They're hurting their teams. After your first penalty, and I know what the refs are trying to do, they're trying to rein some of this in and keep these guys from getting ugly. But sometimes I think the penalties are coming a little too early, and maybe we could talk about it a little more. But as the leaders on this team and as coaches on this team, you have to go to these guys while we're in halftime in the locker room and say, listen, we're here to play football and win a game. And if what you're doing is not helping us, you're hurting us, let's get that fixed and move forward. Let's go out and win the game. Stop being selfish and thinking about yourself and think about the team.
These teams tied 7-7 through the first half. Aside from avoiding the penalties, what else are you looking for in terms of second half adjustments?
Well, Georgia Southern has to get back to what they do best, and that's running the option and getting the balls out. Hopefully Breeder's going to come back and he's not too banged up, but they got to get the ball out on the edges and have big plays in the running game. They're not built to throw the ball down the field. We saw them coming out and open up and trying to stretch the field with the passing game. That's not what they do. And for Georgia State, they're doing it. I like what they're doing. Their recipe is working. They're in a close ball game with a very good team at home. They're winning on the battle defensively and in special teams, and offensively, they're doing just enough to stay in the game and make it real scary for these Georgia Southern fans and this Georgia Southern football team.
We turn to our first half highlights, and we start with Georgia State. As Vonnie said, they had the edge throughout much of the first half, and this was the play that got them going. Penny Hart going all the way.
Because of what they've been able to do in the run game, just enough, they're able to hit them with the play action, stretch the field, and get it down the field with a big score for Penny Hart.
Their defense came to play as well, really limiting Georgia Southern's running game in the early going, and then late Taris Batiste with the interception to end another Eagles drive.
Really playing lights out right now. The turnover battle is tied, I think, right now, one apiece, but doing a great job in the run game. And right here you see Ramsey with the extra effort to get the score for Georgia Southern, but then coming back on defense, Arbuckle not recognizing the blitz. McForty, George coming off the corner, making a great play, sacking quarterback.
Georgia Southern has managed to get pressure. We saw that sack right there. Jamal Johnson's the guy whose name we've called the most. What's the key to Georgia State to adjusting their pickup of those blitzes and dealing with that pressure in the second half?
I think they have to continue to mix it up. They're going to have to continue to try to run the ball to keep them honest. And then when they get their chances, we haven't really seen Arbuckle do his thing yet in terms of stretching the field as much as he'd like. They have to get hard and involved in the passing game as well.
We'll take a break. Those are the keys to the second half. We'll come back, take a look at first half stats, get you ready for action. Still 7-7 in Statesboro.
You have cancer. There's nothing you can do to prepare yourself.
Round 1 of chemotherapy. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna survive. There's no way I'm gonna let this take over me.
Cancer doesn't care what you look like, who you are.
This whole fight is something that requires support.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
1, 2, 3, never give up!
Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report from Paulson Stadium on the campus of Georgia Southern. 7-7 between the Panthers of Georgia State, the Eagles of Georgia Southern. Marching bands doing their thing here at the half in this, again, newest in-state rivalry at the FBS level. Lower scoring than we expected in the first half, but a close game, which we did expect. It was tight last year until Georgia Southern broke it open in the second half. Here are the numbers. Jonathan Yardley, Vonnie Holliday with you. Despite that slow first quarter, Vonnie, Georgia Southern, in terms of the rushing yards, in terms of the time of possession, got their way back in the game.
They did get their way back in the game, but you look here at this rushing yards, 84 yards, passing yards, 65. Not characteristic of Georgia Southern when you talk about the rushing offense. I mean, here's a team who leads I think they're the #1 rushing offense in the country, not only the Sun Belt, but in the country, at 375.6 yards per game. So Georgia State has certainly did their homework coming into this game and are playing lights out in terms of stopping the run.
Stopping the run, one of the factors in that is that Matt Breida from Georgia Southern is out of the game. We did get an update thanks to the hard work of our crew and some of the Georgia Southern personnel. It's a lower leg injury on Breida here. He's being evaluated currently. They didn't rule out his return. We couldn't tell exactly what the injury was, but a worrisome sign for your leading rusher to go out.
I'm going to have to go with my expertise as a lower leg injury guy, but it looks like right here at the end of the play, he goes out of bounds. Tarice comes in, and right at the end there, his toe is kind of stuck in the ground as he's planted. Tarice rolls up on the back of his ankle, and a lot of times you see that, you think it may be an Achilles or something, but maybe a high ankle sprain, hopefully nothing serious. I would love to see him come back in the game. I know Georgia Southern and their fans want him to, because we talked about this in the opener. He's one of the keys to their success in the running game. They have a host of running backs, no doubt about it, a stable of really good backs in Fields and Ramsby, but he's their guy. He's the leading rusher on this team, the leading touchdown scorer on this team.
And he leads the country in yards per carry. We'll see if he gets any in the second half. 7-7 here in Statesboro.
Jesse?
So, you got any big New Year's Eve plans?
Not at all. I'm just going to be sitting at home alone watching the college football playoff all by myself. Just me and the TV, you know.
Oh, hey, Larry. Thanks for the invite. Playoff party at your place.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Party?
Well, yeah, it's less of a party, more of a small get-together.
Hey, Larry. See you at the party.
And John. He's coming.
Wow.
I know. You ever tasted his bean dip, man? Out of this world.
High school, Dr. Bubby here. High school.
Hi, would you sign my petition?
Miss, can you sign my petition?
It says, I, Larry Culpepper,
To present the national championship trophy.
The winner of the college football playoff.
I invented the playoff. I should be able to hand out the trophy.
That's my job. Who are you?
Almost got John Saunders to sign it. If I give you a Dr. Pepper, will you sign my petition?
No.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here.
Now give me 6. Don't spill on it. I can't read that. You're going to have to do it again.
Let's go, Dr. Bubby here. Let's go, Dr. Bubby here.
Welcome back to Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. And a reminder, you can help us beat cancer. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. And again, 100% of all direct cash donations go directly to research because the administrative expenses are covered. We're at Paulson Stadium in Statesboro, Georgia. They've renovated this stadium, but they still wanted the kids to have room to play. So they have the Field of Dreams right there in front of the end zone facility. And I think for both you and I, if we were kids coming here, that's where we would be most of the game.
Jonathan, there is nothing like it. From the time I remember my first football game, my aunt would not let me leave the stands to go down to the corner of the end zone and play football with the kids. But once she let me out of that seat, that was it. I was glued. I was always in that area. That's where football players are born, at football games.
Georgia Southern and Georgia State battling here. Here's what's at stake. Georgia Southern and Appalachian State are trying to catch Arkansas State. We can tell you that Ark State is up 14-0 on Texas State, likely going to win the Sun Belt Conference title. That was expected. At the other end, not the other end of the standings, but the next teams up, Georgia State and South Alabama, both need wins today to be bowl eligible. And this year, if you're bowl eligible, you're going. And so Georgia State, who we're seeing 30 minutes away from the first bowl game in school history, South Alabama, another new program, would love to get that chance as well.
And we talked about this earlier. Georgia State maybe feeling like they have a little more to play for in this game, maybe playing with a little more chip on their shoulder than Georgia Southern, who, yes, they can keep their home game winning streak alive, but at the end of the day,
they know
bowl bound.
They know they're going to a bowl.
Yes.
They pretty much know which one.
Yes.
Hasn't been officially announced, but it's been widely reported that they'll play in the GoDaddy Bowl in Mobile. There are representatives from that bowl game here staying in our hotel, so we think there's a pretty good chance that's going to happen.
I was about to say, we've seen quite a few of those guys walking around the field down there today.
It's not much of a secret anymore.
It is not. It is not. So interesting to see Breida's back out on the field, walking down on the sideline with a slight limp. I'm sure him being the competitor that he is, he's going to try to give it a go We'll have to keep our eyes on him as he warms up and gets ready for this opening drive of the second half.
I'd say he doesn't have a helmet with him yet, so we'll keep an eye on Matt Breida. Georgia Southern will get the ball to start this second half. Will Lutz to kick off to Derek Keaton, a very dangerous return man. Leads the Sun Belt Conference in total return yards. And Keaton is just short of the 25-yard line. So they're going to start the second half without their leading rusher. It's still the same blockers, the same scheme. What do you think the message was to make this option run more efficiently in the second half?
I think he just got up to these guys and told them they got to get fired up. They got to do a better job of getting to the edge, setting the blocks up. They're going to have to, but right now, they got to try to find a way to open this Georgia State defense up a little bit. They're doing a great job of coming up early in the option and setting the edges and making it hard for Ellison to make a decision right away on who's going to carry the ball.
They come out with a double tight end look, and L.A. Ramsby looks like he got about 3 yards on first down.
And that play right there tells me that's exactly what they're trying to do. We're going to pound the ball in the middle to make you soften up on the edges and see if we can get our option game going.
Wesley Fields checks in alongside Ramsby. Ellison still the quarterback. Ellison spin move up the middle. He's short of the first down, but it's another positive gain.
You want to talk about an athletic move. I mean, you talk about stopping on a dime, spinning in place, and keeping your balance in your feet, getting upfield and still getting yards. I mean, that's quite a play by Ellison, showing you how athletic he is.
Redshirt junior out of Habersham Central High School.
But once again, this Georgia State defense on the edges are winning the battle and making it hard for that option game to get going.
Stuffed right at the line to gain for a first down. This is going to be a close call. Ramsby thinks he had it.
You see big Shawanye Lawrence in there on the stop, along with Taurus Batiste. And Shawanye coming to college as a 17-year-old. Right here, we talked about them establishing the power game again, trying to get them to loosen up on the edges right there. But a good job by the Georgia State defense, only giving up very little for that first down. Just enough.
Shawanye Lawrence was number 85 in the middle of that. That pass, not Ellison's best. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Doesn't look like he ever got the ball settled right in his hand. As you see Bruce Dukes, who is the new cornerback in the game, replacing Jerome Smith.
And they're going after him early.
He's been around, transferred from UCF.
There's one thing to be around, and there's another thing to be sitting on that sideline, thinking that you're going to have a pretty light day, maybe some special team work, and then you find yourself right in the thick of things.
B.J. Johnson, the favorite target of Georgia Southern today, is at the bottom of your screen. Instead, they'll keep it on the ground with Ramsby. He dives forward to the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 or 7.
And it is quite the battle going on right now in the trenches with this offense and this defensive line. And these guys are in there battling. Georgia State making it hard, making creases and seams. Really hard for these backs to get through. But Georgia Southern doing a good job of getting bodies on bodies and allowing him to fall forward.
Brings up 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles.
Quarterback draw, Ellison hit hard and stood up. Bobby Baker stops Georgia Southern in its tracks.
The UAB transfer coming up and putting the boom on. Right here, quarterback keeper, nice design play, fake the pass, he runs it up the middle, but guess who is not fooled? Bobby Baker. I feel like he's seen this play before. He's done his homework. He's been in the film room studying, and then after that, he stands him up, and that Georgia State defense rallies to the ball. They've certainly come out of the half, out of the locker room, still fired up, still hitting on all cylinders.
Between the tackles, there has not been a lot for Georgia Southern so far today. Nowicki's punt fielded inside the 20. It'll be a 39-yard kick with no return. Georgia State's first possession of the second half coming your way next.
He is knocked down by Antonio
Back at Paulson
Glover.
Stadium in Statesboro, Georgia, and Glenn Smith catching Georgia Southern, maybe us too, off guard with a rambling first down run for Georgia State.
You see number 17, Glenn Smith, and them lined up in the backfield right up the middle. They found a crease. A nice gain for Georgia State to start out the opening drive for them in the second half.
They used the play action to set up Robert Davis over the middle and into Georgia Southern territory.
And obviously when Georgia State went into the locker room, they saw something and made the right adjustments, because they're coming out, and that's two really big plays back-to-back. They hit them with the run, which opened up the play-action pass. Another big game for Georgia State.
22-yard carry, 21-yard pass play. Not a bad way to start the half. Empty backfield for Arbuckle. Wide open is Donovan Hardin, and he's got another first down.
And we talked about this at the half. What's important for Georgia State, getting Hardin involved in the offense. Here you are, because they had that success on first and second down, or 2 first downs. Now Hardin wide open. That's a guy that you cannot leave uncovered. You got to keep your eye on his guy, because he is a very important part of this offense and hasn't gotten going yet. And they recognized that at halftime in the first half, and they made the adjustment, and now they're getting him involved in the game. Big play for Hardin.
Glenn Smith on the carry, tripped up as he crossed the 20-yard line.
And a little change here at running back. Smith in the game now, Bateman not, but he's having success. As I say that, Bateman's back in the game.
Georgia State trying to start the second half with a statement. Arbuckle for the end zone. Davis. Touchdown, Panthers.
Once again, the chippiness, and we talked about that. I'm sure Georgia Southern has found themselves in a situation that they're not used to and they don't like, but you have to be smart in these situations. There is nothing to gain by what just happened.
Well, Georgia State got a little back. They felt Georgia Southern acted late in the first half. That was acting. There was a push, but he went down theatrically.
That's the game now. It started with Vlade Divac back in the day, and it carried over to football and now college football.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is a touchdown.
They're with us on the acting.
Maybe you should be an official. Once again, here we go down the middle of the field, doing the great pocket. Offensive line does a great job of protecting him. Big windows there for him to look at. And great throw and catch there for the touchdown. And Georgia State, right out of the half, we talked about making the adjustments. The importance of them coming back, getting that offensive going.
Bad snap. They'll throw it up, but too far, and that's a point dropped for Georgia State. Not the way you draw it up on the extra point, but this is exactly how Georgia State drew up its offensive play to start the second half. Panthers up 6. Back here at Georgia Southern, Georgia State leads this game, but there has been far too much for the officials to do in this one. We've had chippiness before the game, after plays like this one.
Way too much talking. In fact, there should have been something said to Davis after he makes the catch. Hand the ball to the official. Go celebrate with your teammates. You're doing a great job, great catch. Get your team. Make it more about the team and less about yourself. The official, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to, we talked about this before, they're trying to rein some of that in, get some control of this game. But these players on both sides have to be more mature in their approach to the game.
So again, they picked up the flag. There was no penalty on the play that we just saw. So the kickoff comes from the 35, as is normal. And it's a chance for Derek Keaton to return. Got past one tackle and got some room to run. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
We talked about Keaton. I mean, this kid can flat out fly. Finally got a chance, a returnable ball here. Does a good job of sticking it up in the middle. Good blocking here by everyone, creating a seam right there, and then he takes off. Possible holding call right there, but that's always on kickoffs.
Yeah.
Every offensive possession, they can throw a flag for holding.
So Georgia Southern will start at its own 46. Fabian Upshaw in at quarterback. Still L.A. Ramsby, the tailback. It is Ramsby. He has a crease, and he has a first down into Georgia State territory. Finally brought down by Joe Peterson.
And you like what Coach Offensive Coordinator Doug Reese is doing here. We talked about it. He is hitting up on the inside there, making with these inside quick hitters. Actually, he bounced it out to the C gap there, but trying to soften this Georgia State defense up so that he can get his option game going. Going to make them respect the downhill running game in between the tackles.
Ramsby again. Not as much. He had 15 on the previous carry, 2 on that one. And he's now got 60 on the day.
Ramsey doing a great job filling in right now for Breida, who's still on the sideline. He was on the bike earlier.
I say we haven't found him since he got off the bike. At any rate, Georgia Southern down 6 at home here. Again, they don't lose here very often. They've won their last 11 games at Paulson Stadium. That dates back to their time in the FCS. Keaton is the pitch man here. Upshaw keeps it himself and didn't get very much, if any.
Not at all. We talked about it earlier. Georgia State and their game plan going into this game of doing a good job on the edges, not allowing him the opportunity to pitch. I mean, most of the time when you're playing against the option, you want the quarterback to keep it because that's an opportunity for a defense to punish the quarterback, get some licks on him. And that's what Georgia State's doing right now.
B.J. Johnson, their top receiving target, is in the slot at the top of your screen on 3rd and 8. Upshaw didn't like his options downfield, takes off running, flag behind the play. He stopped short of the first down anyway. Interesting decision here. This is borderline field goal range if they decline the penalty, but it would be 4th down.
I'm
Holding
not quite sure.
On the offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
And if you were playing a passing team, I think maybe you would treat it differently, but against a running team, the odds of Georgia Southern picking up 3rd and 15, not great.
You're right. And here's when you get in trouble. Right now, at the right tackle, you're thinking that he's going to pass the ball. I'll take it as a defensive player. I will take it as a defensive player. What a very questionable holding call there.
Tommy Boynton, the sophomore from Jacksonville, called for it.
But when you have a quarterback as mobile as these guys, I mean, you have to hold your blocks longer, and they're going to create some interesting angles for you. You're sitting back there thinking it's going to be a pass, and they tuck off on a run, puts you in a bad situation.
Jailbreak, and Upshaw just had to throw it away. So Georgia Southern got into Georgia State territory, but now they're going to have to punt it away.
That had to be a busted play. I would think that they may have been setting up a screen or something in that situation because every guy on the Georgia State front was in the backfield.
The ball at the Georgia State 47. So Ryan Nowicki will punt it away to Donovan Harden and try and pin the Panthers deep in their own territory. Fair catch called for at the 14. It's a kick of 33 yards. Georgia State going to try and add to this lead. They're targeting a bowl game. Much more to come from Statesboro. Georgia State's defense surprising everybody, holding Georgia Southern's running attack in check. Have the Panthers up 6, and their quarterback, Nick Arbuckle, has reached 4,000 yards. That's in just 2 years. I beg your pardon, that's in this season. There you go. And he's still chasing Levi Brown from Troy for that Sun Belt single season record. He'd like to have another game, I'm talking a bowl game, to try and break that record.
A nice drive right here would really get them closer to that happening for him. I mean, saw Coach Trent Miles getting those guys fired up on the sideline. But this drive right here is key for Georgia State, but they probably more so for Georgia Southern.
Smith motions out, empty backfield now for Arbuckle on 2nd and 7. Lobs it downfield. What a grab by Donovan Harden over the top of a defender.
Got a feeling that these two guys have done that before. I mean, we talked about Harden and getting him going, and Arbuckle recognizes right away the blitz and throws it up, gives his playmaker an opportunity to make a play on the ball. One-on-one coverage out on the outside. Why not? Throw it to your playmaker, Harden. Let him go up and make a play. Great catch. Good decision by Arbuckle.
Make that catch with one hand. Glenn Smith breaks this one into the secondary and is down inside the Georgia Southern 35.
This Georgia Southern defense, they are on their heels right now. I mean, Georgia State in the run game, just hit them with the long pass. Now they're sitting back and playing defense, and they were able to gash them right through the speed gap there.
Jemai Davidson and Taylor Evans, two of the linemen blocking on that one. Davidson got a body on Antoine Williams. It slowed him down. Play action. That's the tight end Rucker inside the 5. Georgia State is on fire.
On fire, Jonathan. We talked about balance, and they've been very balanced. Run. Now because of the run on the last play, hit him with the play action. Fake the run. Get your playmaker, Rucker, who we haven't seen much since the first drive when they tried to hit him on 2 plays, as you have a Georgia State player down now.
Keith Rucker had a career game against Troy, 10 catches for 154 yards. He's the son of an NFL player, Keith Rucker Sr., and he is the man down.
I'm not surprised on that tackle by Antoine Williams. He landed on top of Rucker and the ball, and they both kind of laid there for a second. But Rucker, being a tough guy, tried to get up and walk off the field, but felt it. Hopefully it's just the wind knocked out of him.
The ball at the 4. Georgia State trying to make it a 2-possession game. Flags fly, whistles blow. And it is a timeout for Georgia State.
Timeout. Georgia State. That is their first timeout of the second half.
And a good timeout by Georgia State, because they were coming with a blitz, and I don't think anyone saw it.
We'll take the break with them. Georgia State threatening to extend its lead here at Paulson Stadium in Statesboro. Head coach Trent Miles has Georgia State threatening 1st and goal at the 4 here in Statesboro. Arbuckle has Keith Rucker for the touchdown. They've dominated this game, and they're going to have a 2-score lead to prove it.
Great play call by offensive coordinator Jeff Jagodowski. I mean, hit him with the play action because you've been running the ball. Nice play to a guy who's been making plays for you the last couple of weeks in Keith Rucker. And this Georgia Southern stadium is silent.
Will Lutz adds the extra point out of a successful hold. It is a 13-point lead for the Georgia State Panthers. 4-2 in their last 6 games, trying to close the year 5-2 and go to a bowl game.
Georgia State doing something that they don't do very often, and that's Arbuckle under center. And I'm sure when those defensive guys saw that, they thought they were going to test the middle, but a great job in the play action, the wide open Rucker running down the seam for the touchdown. I don't think anybody expected 2017 Georgia State, Georgia Southern 7, and no Breida.
Yep. And Breida or not, they haven't gotten the running game going. Out-of-town scores around the conference. Arkansas State well on its way to an unbeaten season in Sun Belt play, which is what Georgia Southern had last year. New Mexico State out in front of Louisiana Monroe. And later tonight, South Alabama at home needing an upset of App State to go to a bowl game. Troy and Louisiana Lafayette square off as well.
Jonathan, maybe there was a method to the madness. Maybe all the chippiness on Georgia State, who started it when Georgia Southern got off the buses heading to their locker room before the game, maybe that was part of getting them off of their game.
Derek Keaton wants to return this one. He wants to come up with a big play. And he at least got past the 25. He was one spin move away from a little bit more.
That kid is dangerous. He reminds me of a great punt specialist in the NFL, Devin Hester. Every time he touches the ball, that kid, he's exciting to watch. Can Georgia Southern get something going here?
There's plenty of time for them. This is not a situation where they need to start throwing. It's a running team. They're going to remain a running team. Fabian Upshaw at quarterback for this series. He's got some room on the option here. Will keep it himself and get out near midfield. He lost the ball at the end of it. They had already blown the play dead. And there's some momentum for the Eagles.
I love the play calling. Get back to your bread and butter. This is what you do well. This is what they do well. The option, they fake the read. He pulls it out, gets on the edge. Doesn't have to pitch it. There's a lane out there. Great job. Is that Rucker on the end?
The block there?
Yes.
It's Rediger.
Rediger. Great job. Great block to allow them to get to corner.
Well, it's interesting because of the two quarterbacks, Ellison is the better runner between the tackles because he's bigger. Upshaw is faster. He's the better guy to run out wide, and you saw an example of that. Maybe they think out wide is where it's going to work for him because inside, between the tackles, Georgia State has owned the game.
They certainly have, and it's great play by the big guys up front. I mean,
2nd and 8 as Keaton comes in motion. Upshaw wants to throw. Going up top. Right through the hands of Miles Campbell. That's the second time they've missed on a deep ball. One from each quarterback. That was wide open.
Wide open play again. That's at least the second time in the game where that's happened. Great job with the play action. Just had a lot of success on the first down run. Come back and hit him with the play action, and it hits him in his hands. Finish the play.
Encouraging pats on the head for Miles Campbell. As Georgia Southern faces 3rd and 8, they'll run it, trying to sneak Ramsby there, and a great hit by Bobby Baker again. He did have that one penalty, but he's also made a heck of a lot of plays.
He has made a lot of plays, but that was a great block by big Ryan Northrup. Great block by big Ryan Northrup, this guard who's filling in for the injured Roscoe Bird, but a great job of kicking out there and creating a lane.
4th down and a short 4 for Georgia Southern. They go for it on 4th down often. Top 25 in the country in 4th down percentage. They'll go here. Looking for Johnson again. He hauls it in. That's a crucial catch.
B.J. Johnson, every time they need a big play in the passing game, this guy steps up. You see a little half roll to the left, throwing back. B.J. Johnson gets open. Not bad coverage by Taurus Batiste, but this guy, B.J. Johnson, finds a way to get open, and when they need a big play, steps up. That's why he's their leading receiver.
They're going to take a look at this. DJ Johnson now has 79 yards on 5 catches today. And give credit to Upshaw, too, because he put good touch on that to get it over Batiste.
He certainly did, and that's on the rollout to his left, or running to his left. Nice touch.
This play is under review. Let's see. Catch, foot, and then he steps out of bounds. Now you have to maintain control of the ball there. And obviously it got knocked out at some point. So this is really a borderline one for me. To catch on the field, I have to think it's going to stay a catch, but you never know. Batiste got his hand in there.
He did, and I don't want that job to have to make that decision. I mean, I think because it was called a catch, a rule of catch on the field, that they're not going to overturn it.
And to me, once he's got the ball and he's got a foot down, that's the play. I don't, to me, he's caught the ball. But
right,
the official's definition of that.
There is the catch. Then the second steps out of bounds. But it reminds me of the Dez Bryant play.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Dez Bryant rule. So you just never know how these things are going to go. If it stands, it's the play that Georgia Southern needed to keep this drive alive and hopefully ignite this stadium.
Georgia State's entire team is out on the field staring up at the video board as they replay this one. They're, of course, all waving incomplete. This is going to be a huge momentum swing whichever way it goes.
It's always interesting when the players go and start talking to the official that's still on the field, not the guy underneath the hood.
Let's say he's like, I can't do anything at this point. Trent Miles looking on. He turned around that Indiana State program. They were 1-22 his first couple of years there. Then put together 3 straight wins. They won at North Dakota State, which you win in the Fargo Dome. You've really accomplished something as an FCS school. Trying to turn around Georgia State as well. Big call
After
here.
review, the receiver did not maintain possession of the ball. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. The result is first down for Georgia State at the 44-yard line.
Holy smokes.
So here you see nice placement by Upshaw. Right here, you feel like he has the catch, second step out of bounds, but the ball does come loose here, but you can't really tell when he loses it. And right there at the bottom, once again, we talked about it, the Dez Bryant rule. Not surprised.
So Georgia State takes over at its own 44, and if they can put together a drive here, they will really put Georgia Southern in a hole. The give is to Smith. He's hit by Ryan George, but he's able to fall forward for 5 yards on the play.
I wouldn't be surprised if right now Georgia State takes a shot down the field.
I think you're softening up the inside. It's working. I would keep running. I know that's not what they do. You were right. Arbuckle gets a rush, steps out of it, and has Donovan Harden for a first down.
Just a good job by the big guy, the quarterback, Arbuckle. Drops back there. No one's open right now. Good job by Georgia Southern in coverage, but he's able to make a play, buy some time, and find an open Harden, who knows how to get open when his quarterback scrambles.
Team leading 4th catch of the day for Donovan Harden. Rucker, the tight end, goes in motion. Arbuckle has Penny Hart inside the 15.
Georgia Southern's defense on their heels. Once again, the play action. Penny Hartman, the young freshman, stepping up again, play down the field. And I know Coach Fritz right now, this is a situation he's not used to being in. How do they maintain their poise right now Try to get a stop, the bend but don't break, and get that offense going to get back in this game.
Quick throw out to Hart, and he's driven backward for not much of a gain. Tay Hicklin on the tackle.
Hicklin makes the stop for the Eagle.
Darius White had the initial hit.
6 yards on first down.
There you go.
Hartman again. Penny Hart.
They can get a first down without a touchdown. It's 2nd and 4, as you see, at the 7. Corner route looking for Rucker, and maybe just looking to throw it away from Arbuckle in the end.
I feel like this Georgia Southern defense has been on the field a lot in the second half.
Been on the field a lot, period.
Normally, Georgia Southern football is the opposite. Georgia Southern's the team that's driving down the field, eating up the play clock, shortening the game for the opponent's offense. Arbuckle here trying to give some directions to his receivers as they go to the spread set, with Kyler Neal in the backfield with him.
They show blitz, and our main man, Jamal Johnson, may have gotten a little too excited. He says he was drawn off, of course.
I don't know, that center, they start moving their head around on the ball. Looks like Georgia State is going backwards.
I think our officials trying to figure out on which player to call the false start.
Offsides on the defense, number 51. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. It is still short of the first down.
He was trying to see if it was a first down because Vonnie was leading us astray once again.
Mistakes by Georgia Southern in the mental part of the game. Offsides, penalties have killed them today.
This brings up a 3rd and inches. Now again, we told you they don't go under center a whole lot, but they did bring in Jonathan Lytle, the fullback, number 46 there. And Kyler Neal, the sturdier runner, the tailback. It's Neal running right, has the first down, and it's just short of the goal line.
Georgia State getting into some physical football right there. Power football coming downhill with the big guy. Just following his block there, lead. Just a lead right through the C gap there for the first down. Georgia State rallying to the ball. See if they keep it on the ground here for the score.
Arbuckle tried to sneak it himself, and they've stood him up. No gain on that one.
Absolutely no surge by that offensive line. I mean, that defensive line got off on the ball, and he was hit right away.
It looks like Georgia State will take this to the end of the quarter, but they are knocking on the door to take full control of this game. Unless Georgia Southern can come up with an epic goal line stand. Georgia State, one of the hottest teams in the country right now, trying to become bowl eligible. They brought their passing game in the 3rd quarter. It's brought them into the lead. Decisive 4th quarter. There you see the numbers. Georgia State in front as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. They've just about evened up the time of possession, 290 passing yards, on their way to a 2-score lead, trying to make it a 3-score lead as we start the final stanza here in Statesboro. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 1. Kyler Neal stopped just short. De La Rosa on the tackle for Georgia Southern.
Number 25, Tyler Neal on the carry. Where De La Rosa makes the stop.
Oh, it's close.
On the 6-inch line, you think there?
There's no lines when you get that close, my friend.
Great job by De La Rosa coming up. Along with the big guy in the middle, I think it was Ellison.
Michael Ivory, the left tackle, conferring before getting into position. Kyler Neal again. No signal yet. There it is. Touchdown, Georgia State.
Kyler Neal on the carry for a Georgia State touchdown.
You just talked about a big Ivory making sure he had the correct call to block down, kick out, and a great effort here getting into the end zone by Kyler Neal.
4th touchdown of the year for Neal, the redshirt sophomore out of East Paulding High School.
We thought we'd be talking more about Georgia Southern and their rushing attack and scoring touchdowns. And here we are, Georgia State, with their 2nd rushing touchdown.
Yeah, they've got 78 rushing yards, pretty respectable for a team that throws as much as the Panthers do. And they're about to go up potentially 20 points on Georgia Southern. It's only lost 1 Sun Belt game ever in its 2 years in the conference.
Still a lot of time at 14 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the 4th. But like a lot of those option teams, they aren't built to play from behind. So it'll be interesting to see how Georgia Southern comes out.
Back here in Statesboro, Georgia, we don't know what to say with a straight face about Kyler Neal's face paint.
I think he's a big fan of wrestling, maybe. A little too much WWE or F. Absolutely no purpose other than maybe his style with that haircut and that use of the face paint.
I don't think he's going to be taking any constructive criticism if this score holds, though. Georgia State 27, Georgia Southern 7.
I'm sure he didn't think he would be scoring today and getting that kind of face time. What do you think?
I bet he did. Derek Keaton from the goal line. Georgia Southern could use a big play in the return game. And looked like a clear face mask. Flags flying from every direction. And it's going to be 15 extra yards for Georgia Southern.
One official has his hat off.
We got three flags and a hat?
Yes.
All the trailing officials couldn't believe the front ones hadn't called it. There's 8 officials, and we've got 4 flags and a hat thrown for that.
And we talked about Keaton and how every time he touches the ball, it's exciting.
Well, and he was gone if they didn't pull him down with the face mask.
The umpire actually threw his hat in the ring. I mean, he dropped it. He threw a flag early because he saw it, and then he ran in.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against Georgia State. Offsides on the kicking team, number 51. That penalty will be refused. Personal foul, face mask, number 15 of the kicking team. That will be enforced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, Georgia Southern.
Todd Boyd, the guilty party, and Georgia Southern will start at its 47. And if you're going to come back from a 20-point deficit in the 4th quarter, you need some field position, and this is where they're going to start from, near midfield.
But Jonathan, we talked about it. They needed a big return, and to get this thing started, and they got that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do from here.
Kevin Ellison back in at quarterback. They look to throw. He's under pressure. He escapes one man, not the second. Michael Shaw with the sack.
You see here when they're coming with the play action pass, trying to take advantage or maybe exploit the defense, kind of sitting back on their heels. Great job by Georgia State getting after the quarterback, did not fall for the play action. Continued to rush, and Ellison trying to make a play, was able to elude the first pass rusher, but could not escape the grasp of big
Few things worse for an option attack than a first down sack. It's going to force Georgia Southern to throw on their remaining plays, and it now brings up 3rd and 20.
Coach Doug Roos, the offensive coordinator, has to stay within their makeup and what they do. I know it's getting late in the game, you run out of time, but you still have backs that can take it the distance on any play. Get back to your running game, soften this defense up. Right now they're playing deep, they're expecting a pass. Make them respect the run game, and then try to catch them slipping in the pass game.
Ellison to throw. Got hit as he let it go, and of course was nowhere near a receiver with it. It's a frustrating day on offense.
Antrell Allen coming with the pressure there. But I tell you what, once again, getting off track on first down, knowing your personality, what kind of team you have, you cannot do that. You can't put your team in this situation. They come with the blitz, with the corner blitz. As Antrell Allen comes up and gets the big hit, able to get off the field. And that's been kind of the tale of the tape too. Georgia Southern on 3rd down, I know coming into this, they were 4 for 12.
So now 4 for 13, you're right.
4 for 13.
Make the fair catch at the 23-yard line.
Georgia State gets the ball back when we come back. Georgia State and Trent Miles 13 minutes, 11 seconds away from their first bowl game. They would have more wins this year than they did in their last 4 seasons combined. They were 5-41 from 2011 to 14. Currently 5-6, angling for win number 6. Nick Arbuckle, the quarterback, will give to Glenn Smith on first down. Good hit by Ironhead Gallant for Georgia Southern.
You got to believe Georgia State's approach right now is to go out and run this ball and let that clock run, not give up. I mean, they want to get first downs and sustain drives, but they need to keep it on the ground and get first downs so they can seal this victory.
Yeah, do you throw on 2nd down here if you're Georgia State?
2nd and long? I think not, but I'm a defensive guy. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm willing to bet Coach Jags is going to go for a pass, a quick pass, but a pass nonetheless.
They do let the play clock wind under 10 seconds. Taz Bateman, the lone running back for Arbuckle, takes the snap with 1, gives to Bateman, and he's bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Darius Sapp on the tackle.
Georgia Southern understanding the situation in the game right now. Georgia State's kind of going into their 4-minute offense.
3rd down and 8.
And here come those 3rd downs again. Georgia State is 5 out of 9 on 3rd downs. This is a critical one because Georgia Southern very much in this if they can get the ball back right now. Five wide for Georgia State. Arbuckle has Penny Hart. He has the first down once again.
That's complete to Penny Hart.
That guy again, Penny Hart. They do a good job right now. Recognize the coverage. It's man-to-man. They run everybody off. Then they drag a guy underneath.
I mean, he's matched up with Ironhead Gallant if I read that coverage right.
That is absolutely correct.
That's a win-win for Georgia State.
Because they keep you in the spread look, you can't go into like a dime personnel where you bring in another DB and take out all of your linebackers because they can run the ball also.
Taz Bateman hit in the backfield. What a stop by Antoine Williams.
Taz Bateman on the carry. Antoine Williams makes the stop.
They think he'll be in an NFL camp this year, and that was one reason why.
Antoine Williams, a very impressive looking player. I mean, he's a guy with great size, but also tremendous speed at that position. A guy who possibly could play safety strong safety at the next level.
Georgia State wisely working the clock here. Play clock now under 10. It's another give to Bateman. He's hit by Matt Dobson and Logan Hunt. And it'll bring up 3rd down. It's interesting. Georgia State talked about being in third manageable. I think of all teams, they don't really care about third manageable because so many of their plays go for at least 10 yards.
You're absolutely right. I mean, they get the ball down the field. They spread you out. I mean, every one of those guys have the ability to make the play, and they get involved in the game. We talked about to Coach Miles and Coach Jags coming into this game, and he talked about the playmakers and how he had 4 receivers going, and they were trying to establish a run game. I think they got that done today, establishing the run, which opens up even more so plays like this.
Bateman in all kinds of space. He's got the first down. He's got a lot more. Taz Bateman lost the ball at the end. Who got it? We're still waiting for the official signal. And right now they're saying the ball went out of bounds before it was recovered, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. I think they're saying that he actually recovered the ball, but his foot was either on the line or out of bounds when he did so.
It's the same. Oh, let's wait.
The ruling on the field is a fumble that was recovered out of bounds by Georgia Southern. By rule, the ball will be brought right to the spot of the fumble. 1st and 10 for Georgia State. From the 26.
Georgia Southern recovered it, but
fumble.
not in bounds. That's the call on the field. There's Williams. He's got the ball. His shoulder hits the ground, but he didn't have it. And you can see it's the correct call.
The previous play is under review.
He had it for a second, but he didn't have enough to get credit for controlling it inbounds in my book. This is a good angle on it.
Yeah, I agree. Great.
I mean,
Ball's out.
This is the same spot on the field where we had the controversial call earlier.
Wait, he has it there.
Right, but then he doesn't. And I don't think he had it long enough that you can say, he had it and then he fumbled it out. No, he never had it in the first place.
That was a great job by De La Rosa hustling down the field. Right there was also Antoine Williams punching that ball out there. Antoine Williams, he grabs it there, but once he rolls, something knocks the ball out. He never has possession. He's absolutely right. I think it's a great call by the officiating staff.
Taz Bateman had the big catch and carry for Georgia State. And assuming this call is upheld,
after review,
they're going to be in great
the ruling
position.
on the field is confirmed. 1st down for Georgia State.
You heard it. Ruling on the field is confirmed. So the evidence backed up what the officials called initially. You and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Georgia State ball at the Georgia Southern 26.
Jonathan, I don't know how to feel. I mean, I know we're up in the box, and hopefully they're not directing that towards us, but the fans are looking up and pointing at the press box. I didn't make the call.
Georgia State trying to line up a trick play here. Donovan Harden is hiding. Donovan Harden has the ball, and Georgia Southern read it all the way. Thrown down by Darius White. He's small. He's not that small.
Absolutely right. I don't know what that was exactly at this point in the game. What getting a little too cute here. If it works, kudos, and you make Sports Center.
And we've seen that work this year in college football. We have seen it run.
We have.
We see Arbuckle taking his time, lets the play clock run down each time. Gives to Kyler Neal. He breaks it up the middle. Kyler Neal going to put this one out of reach. I'm going to call it right now. Georgia State's going bowling.
As our producer Tom just pointed out, I think you may be absolutely right. The face paint is doing the job for us right here. Great job right there about big 65 Tyler Evans coming around and knocking out the linebacker, creating a big hole right there. I think you're absolutely right. This one may be out of reach for this Georgia Southern team. And as we see the fans here in Paulson Stadium starting to head for the doors. They're not used to this, right? They're a little spoiled around here, Jonathan. You got to remember that. They don't lose much here.
8 minutes left.
And the kick is good. 8:31 to go in today's game.
Georgia State 5-2 in their last 7 if they can hold this. Kyler Neal all the way to the end zone. They may be running all the way to a bowl game.
Another day, another day.
It's got to be the face paint. Kyler Neal, 4 carries today. 2 of them found the end zone, including that 28-yard run that has Georgia State in control of this game. Yeah, clap it up, Trent Miles.
Trent Miles is excited over there. He's been through the bad times with his teams, and he's been working and trying to build this program, and it looks like this train's finally going in the right direction. And I tell you what, not enough credit is given to that offensive line for Georgia State and what they're doing. And we keep talking about it, those guards pulling around and kicking out, creating lanes for those running backs to run through, but they're doing an excellent job of controlling both sides of the line of scrimmage on offense and defense.
I was about to say, the defensive line might be where my game ball would go, because they have shut down the rushing attack as much as you're ever going to. Derek Keaton has a seam for Georgia Southern, trying to get him back in it. He's across midfield. He's been a lively spot for them all day.
All day. I keep talking about how fast this guy is, how electric he is, and how exciting he is to watch. Unfortunately, you're right. He did have the big drop early in the game that may have set the tone early.
Two big drops in this game by Georgia Southern on downfield passes. And again, they say they're playing in the FBS with a lot of players who were recruited for FCS, and Georgia State's in the same boat. You think in a couple years maybe the receiving core is going to be bulked up a little bit.
I'd say none more so than Georgia State. When you talk about being thrown into the FBS, and having to just give out scholarships, as we were talking to Coach Trent Miles. If you walk through the door, you got a scholarship initially. Ooh.
Savage hit. And a flag flies at the end of it. Mackenzie Cherador took Kevin Ellison down, and that part of it seemed clean, but a flag came in afterward.
Getting back to the running game, trying to get and we talked about this before, you want the quarterback to keep the ball for that reason. Get a big hit on the quarterback. That was Darius Jones on the tackle. I'm sorry. It's our guy, McKinney.
Yeah.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 5. The penalty is 15 yards and carries an automatic first down.
He apparently had a few too many words to say afterward.
Unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Is that the 4th unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Georgia State?
I think you're absolutely right.
I like teams winning. I don't like teams pulling that off.
And that's something Coach Trent Miles, I know he's going to get back and they're going to watch this film. He's going to talk about that and address this issue, because he talked about bringing guys in and the importance of building a team or building a system, establishing
character.
There you go, Jonathan. That's why I like working with you. Establishing character, bringing guys in that fit the mold.
You heard of couples that finish each other's sentences?
I have.
That's me and Vonnie. 2nd and 10 for Kevin Ellison and Georgia Southern. 8 penalties, 103 yards for Georgia State in this game. And their fans that have made the drive are going to leave with happy memories. Ellison gets this one away, and Batiste stepped in for his 2nd pick of the day.
And very reminiscent of the first pick he threw in the game. Just not enough zip on the ball. BJ's open, but here you see he drops back and he reads it correct. He feels the pressure coming in, but you got to put a little more zip on that ball or the placement of it. But when you hang it up there like that, it's anybody's ball. You defensive backs out there, if you're watching this game, when the ball goes up in the air, it's anybody's ball, and most importantly, it's yours. Go get it.
Taris Batiste, one of the leaders of this Georgia State team, he said Georgia Southern tried to embarrass us on our field after the game last year. He said, that gets me going. And he's gotten going for 2 interceptions tonight.
You know, we talked early on in the game about 2 hours before game time, Georgia Southern comes in off the buses and strolling across the field to go to their locker room. Georgia State came here for a fight, and it started right then. And I don't agree with all the chippiness with the personal fouls and all of that, but they came in here on a mission and really hit Georgia Southern in the mouth right then, and it hasn't stopped. And really, they've gotten them off of their game. And I don't think that Georgia Southern was ready for that coming in. They felt like they were going to roll on into their bowl game and continue this streak, and that Georgia State was going to just lay down for them. And the Eagles had a different plan.
Georgia Southern playing without one of its starting guards, Roscoe Bird. They played the second half without their leading rusher, Matt Breida. But as you said, Vonnie, it's been the entire game. Georgia State's been more physical, sometimes in excess. But even within the rules of the game, they have dominated this one most of the way, and they are deservedly in front. They are deservedly headed to a bowl game, because it would have been easy for this team, after all the struggles they've had year after year, to kind of shut up shop mid-season. Didn't happen. Here's Nick Arbuckle chasing the Sun Belt single-season passing record. They go to a bowl game, I think he's going to get it.
You mentioned earlier about the 245 or whatever it was. He's closing the gap.
Yep. And if it was a closer game, he might hit it. Phenomenal second half from Nick Arbuckle. Not that the first half was actively bad, Vonnie, but noticeable difference in his game.
Noticeable difference. You know, early in the game, they were working to establish a run and had some opportunities in the pass game, but we talked about his accuracy. It was just a little off. Second half, he has been dead on. Doing a great job of getting the ball down the field and finding the open receiver. And they've also done a good job in the intermediate game, in the short game, of the quick passes out in the flats to the running backs, and their yards after the catch have been big.
And Nick Arbuckle, people say he's a system quarterback. There are detractors out there. The opposite coach, Willie Fritz, paid him the highest compliment. He said he'll be in an NFL camp this year. I believe that. He's accurate. He can make all the throws. And in this second half, Willie Fritz has seen Arbuckle pick his team apart.
And his coaches spoke highly of him as well. I mean, they talked about how he's the last guy to leave the building. They have to make him get out of the building. And not only Arbuckle himself, but now he's bringing in his receivers and his running backs, getting those guys involved too. And he doesn't not only want to know what his job is, but he wants to know what every offensive lineman, every receiver, everybody's job is. He's watching the defensive guys, and he's getting he has kind of the keys to the car. I mean, they give him 2 plays to come up. He sets the pass protection. He checks to the right run. It's a pro-style quarterback. In a game now, in a college game, where most quarterbacks are looking to the sideline to have the quarterback or someone else make that decision for him.
They run the play clock down again here on 2nd and 8. Taz Bateman with the carry, and he'll get the first down out to about the 45.
We talked about big Antoine Williams. There he is, running sideline to sideline. It's a smaller back that you would think would be faster, but he covered some ground to get over there and get him down. Unfortunately, not before the first down.
Vonnie, this is something else. Georgia State is out rushing Georgia Southern. 142 yards to 138 with that last carry.
Talk about a Georgia State team that, give them a lot of credit, but going into this game, talking to Coach Jaggs, the offensive coordinator, said that they did not have an answer at the running back position. That's why they rotated so many guys. They just weren't sure who would be the guy to step up. And then they had the issues last week in fumbling the ball security. But here they are in this game, out-rushing the #1 rushing offense in the country.
And a team that scorched them for 600 rushing yards last year. That is some turnaround.
I feel like they marked this game on their calendar, and they've been working and building towards this for a year.
Oh, yeah. And then I think the bowl eligibility, hanging that out there as a carrot in front of them if they could win this, was what put them over the edge. It is going to be a happy drive home for those guys.
Well, they get their wish. I mean, they wanted the season not to end today.
Yep.
And talking to their coaches, they feel like they're playing their best football. And they have an opportunity now to practice and work up to bowl time, whenever that is, and go out and try to continue to keep this bus going in the right direction as they build this program into next season.
And the bowl selections and assignments will be announced tomorrow night on ESPN. But the Sun Belt has 4 bowl connections. 3 of them, it's been pretty well reported, likely to be filled. So Georgia State, most likely destination would be Orlando for the Cure Bowl. Now that's all unofficial now. It'll be announced tomorrow night, and you can start making your plans. But the most likely destination for Georgia State would be Orlando. As Georgia Southern will call a timeout here with a 4th down coming up. Georgia State all over this game, and our Capital One Cup impact performance of the game. We had a lot of options on the Georgia State side, but Nick Arbuckle is the man for them once again.
He is the man. There you see him with the big strike down the seam to Hart, who was also a candidate. But just from the first half to the second half, I'm not saying it's night and day, but he started to find himself and be more precise with his throws and did a great job of leading these guys. We talked about it. They got the run going today. First half, he was 9 of 20 for 130 yards, 1 TD and an interception. In the second half, 11 of 12 for 216 yards, 2 TDs. No doubt about it, the Capital One Cup player of the game, impact performance of the game.
Give him a helmet sticker, college football final. He deserves it. And Trent Miles turned around his last program. He's turning around this one.
You were pretty head on in your opener. I mean, in order for Georgia State to be successful, in talking about their best defense against this Georgia Southern offense was Arbuckle in this offense, moving the ball down the field, making plays, and they were able to do that.
I got that from you. So the credit goes to Mr. Holiday on that one. Georgia Southern will take over at its own 27 here, 2:43 to go. It's Trent Miles trying to shoo away the cameraman, but still a happy guy. Let's say he wasn't going to smile until pretty late in this game, and there we finally see it. And he's made up with him. All right, good. Georgia Southern, on the other hand, Vonnie, still a great year, still going to a bowl game as Fabian Upshaw runs the option, pitches to Ryan Longoria, who had nowhere to go. How does Willie Fritz address his team, A, after this game immediately, and B, longer term, building toward that bowl game?
Well, I certainly think he has to come in and talk about just the moment. You had an opportunity coming into this game to finish off very strong season, continue that home streak against your rivalry. I mean, this is your in-state. You got to see these guys from here on out, every year in and year out. And I know last year it was a blowout, and I think that might have had something to do with it. They thought that Georgia State maybe still has not, they haven't taken that step to be this kind of team. But he's going to have to get these guys ready to go. Yes, you've had great accomplishments. You've done some really, really good things. But we got to put this game behind us. It's just one of those games where we got caught slipping. And we got to get ready to move forward and go win a bowl game and continue to build. Because they have a lot of guys coming back. I mean, this team, most of these guys will be back next year. Most of the key players for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, they'll be favorites in the Sun Belt Conference again next year. They were preseason favorite this year. They'll be among the favorites next year is what I should say. And they will hope to get a little healthier. We saw Trent Miles hugging everybody. You knew some of it was setting him up for that.
Coach Trent Miles, he is a player's coach. I mean, we talked about it in our interview with him. Talking to us like we're the players in terms of his coach talk and building on, how he goes about this, talking to his team and these guys' preparation day in and day out to be successful. And to his credit, it's working. One play at a time, one day at a time,
one meal at a time,
one breakfast, one lunch. Let's just be the best breakfast team in college today, okay? And then let's get to lunch.
Georgia State will get it back one more time. Those who have stuck around enjoying themselves. If last year was Paulson Stadium North, I'm not going to quite call it Georgia Dome South because it doesn't feel like the Georgia Dome, but it's going to be Georgia State celebrating on the road after maybe the biggest win in program history.
Now, to be honest, the Georgia Dome gets pretty chilly.
So it might be similar?
So maybe similar. And then you look at the number of fans that have left. It could be close. But Georgia State is certainly, after a win like this and getting to a bowl game, creating some excitement for their program.
And it's great. It's great for the Sun Belt to get at least 4 teams in. They still have South Alabama to play tonight. That would be an even bigger upset. But Georgia State headed to the first bowl game in program history, the 4th Sun Belt team to be bowl eligible this year.
Quite impressive, quite impressive. And talking to this coaching staff, this is what they were fighting for, and it's good to see this Georgia State team as you see them on the sideline. These coaches, these head coaches in college football, they become father figures, big brothers, mentors to these kids, and it's good to see when the players are coming up and hugging a coach like that, excited for them.
The coaches just got down to the sideline from up in the booth. It is sparking a new celebration on that sideline.
A lot of big games today.
Yep.
Big-time games that are going to affect the college bowl or college playoff scene. None any bigger than my Tar Heels.
I wasn't going to say anything, but we'll wish you the best of luck in that one. Georgia State didn't need any luck today. They come into Statesboro and manhandle Georgia Southern to the tune of 34-7. Trent Miles and the Panthers are headed to their first bowl game. Congratulations to Georgia State on a well-earned win this afternoon. Vonnie, it wasn't what we expected, but it sure was what Georgia State deserved.
You're absolutely right. Georgia State came out, and I said it from the beginning, just outplayed this Georgia Southern team. Arbuckle got it going, establishing a run game, something that they've been trying to do all year, and defensively coming out and shutting down the #1 rushing offense in all of college football, knocking out Matt Breida from the game before the end of the second quarter, right?
Yep.
And just from that point on, keeping the foot on the gas and finishing this game strong. So hats off to Georgia State coach Trent Miles and that team and what they were able to accomplish.
That's going to do it for us. For my partner, Vonnie Holliday, for our entire crew, I'm Jonathan Yardley. Thanks for joining us today from Statesboro. The final score, Georgia State 34, Georgia Southern 7. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from Georgia. Georgia State headed to the first bowl game in program history.